Well, it's a very good afternoon from Filletfield and Howick Pakuranga. It is New Zealand Baseball's final of the Under-19 national competition. Looking forward to this one. It's the Howick Hawks taking on North Shore. North Shore looking for the three-peat. They have been the dominant team in recent years when it comes to the development of the sport in this country. We're going to have two wonderful co-commentators with me this afternoon. Mark Irwin, heavily involved in the sport for a long time, and Mr. Baseball himself, Dale Budge. Well, Dale, good afternoon. Welcome. Looking forward to this. Your old club, Howick Pakuranga, up against the current champions.
G'day Mark, yeah, nice to be here. Lovely day in Auckland and East Auckland, and really looking forward to seeing the class of this United Airlines Under-19 National Championship doing battle. These two clubs that have sort of dominated over the last few years. North Shore City looking for a three-peat against, as you said, my old club, the Howick Pakuranga Hawks. So should be a great afternoon of baseball.
Let's talk about it. Baseball historically, it all comes down to pitching depth, but at under-19 level, that's not necessarily an easy thing to acquire at a club level, and particularly also considering that you've got a lot of young players who develop physically, some more so than others. So is it going to be pitching depth?
Oh, look, I think so. What you find at the sort of pointy end of these tournaments is the cream does rise to the top, and there's a handful of players that sort of stand out that are a touch above the average level, and I'm sure, knowing the two coaches that are in action today, both of those coaches would have managed their pitching roster across the last few days, and they'll have one or two aces up their sleeve that they've kept particularly for this sort of big moment.
And Joe Yamamoto on the mound for Howick Pakuranga, so seeing that Japanese influence encroaching itself in New Zealand baseball, of course, national sport over there.
Yeah, very prevalent on the North Shore, a club that they really are a club. They do a great job of sort of community feel and welcome people to that organisation, and no surprise that that they have had such success at club level across all grades, but especially in this under-19 grade across the last couple of years.
Now, we know at Major League level, throughout the regular season, they work on a 7-day rotation in regards to their pitches. This is a 4-day tournament. They don't get the benefit of that. The recovery side of it?
Yeah, as I said, they're going to have to, and there are rules around how you can use pitching. Mark will be able to explain those in a little more detail, having coached through the tournament. But there are pitch count limits. There are a certain amount of rest you've got to have in between pitching appearances, and total number of pitches thrown across the 4 days. So, as I said, both of the two coaches, Dan Tan and Johnny Salvi, well versed in how to manage your pitching load across a tournament like this, and so I'm sure they'll have aces up their sleeve ready to go. Okay,
and Dale Budge, we will bring the team introductions to you very shortly, and also sitting alongside of me, Mark Irwin. Mark also bringing expert comments these days, heavily involved with the development of the sport in the county's Manukau region. Mark, finals time, we talk about physicality of players at a senior level, but this is also about maturity in regards to the mental side of it at this level.
Most definitely. The mature side of it on day 5 of any tournament, especially the gold medal match, I mean, it all comes into play. Without it, the team can just... Yeah,
it's what we mean by that is if they make an error, we know at Major League level, hey, the guys will block it out, they'll move on. This level, they haven't quite necessarily learned how to deal with, say, some adversity.
In reality, yes, but at this level too, these two teams, a lot of very experienced young players who have been offshore and played at a very high level. I think it'll be fatigue that kills it the most, but in general, I think we should be expecting to see some great play.
Yeah, just running through, and we will have a look at the lineups for the two teams very shortly, but just looking at the North Shore City side in front of me, and Dale Budge touched on this, large Asian influence in it. You go here, you've got Taiichi Nakao, Ryoma Fusei, we've got Kim Masamoto.
Yeah, we've got Min-chan Kim, Taichi and Bunji Nakao, Suta Watanabe. They bring a real flow to the game and a very Asian style of play, but very good players. And
there is the trophy been established since 2014, the two-time defending champions in this final again. North Shore City, as we referred to. When it comes to the senior ranks, Howick Pakuranga have probably been the dominant club in more recent times. Interesting to see whether that flows through to the junior ranks, having a look at their lineup.
It does indeed. I mean, again, a lot of number. I mean, we have Joseph Matsumoto that has been playing a lot in Japan, back for this tournament and to get a few games in. But no, very, very strong lineup.
Okay, we are about to have the team introductions too. Dale Budge bringing us all that. One of the traditions in baseball, we'll have the national anthems. And today, of course, we too will have the honorary pitch. And then it's going to go to a former Auckland cricketer by the name of Donovan Grobbelaar. who plays for the Howick Pakuranga Cricket Club. As we have a look at our umpires too, a lot of pressure on them at this level as well.
I'd like to introduce the umpires. The umpire crew this afternoon. The main umpire, Travis Watson. First base, Kaiden Maya. Second base, Michael Luxevich. Third base, Michael Smith. And outfield umpires, Calvin Nathan. And Untitled Chapter. Good game, folks.
So our umpires. And just running through those list of umpires for you, the plate umpire will be Travis Watson. We saw a lot of him throughout the Tuatara season. Kaiden Matsumoto will be first base umpire. Michael Vukovic will be second base. Michael Smith at third. Our right outfield is Calvin Hyford, and our left outfield umpire is Takuto Hosado. And now the customary ceremonial pitch to be thrown out by Donovan Grobbler. I had a chat to him. They cleaned up the Auckland Club T20 cricket competition yesterday, beating East Coast Bays. Let's see what the arm is like. Not too bad. Good range too. Good range. Not an easy thing, 60 feet from the mound to the home plate. Not too far too from the national anthems, one of the great traditions in baseball. Small but vocal and very, what's the word, tribal crowds turned up, tribalism at this level?
Yeah, it's we've got a good crowd here today, a lot of supporters. I mean, at this age group too, you still get a lot of the family, friends, girlfriends, all showing up to support them on the big day.
There they are. First look at the Pakuranga Hawks. Home ground for them.
Seem to be very calm. Always relaxed. They've been through this before, a number of them at different age group nationals. Some of them will be playing their third or fourth nationals.
John Follett Field is the venue, and we do encourage people. You've got plenty of time. This game expected to go, say, 2 hours 15, 7 innings, normally 9 throughout the regular season. Tournament plays 7, and that's just simply because of the number of games and the short turnover and looking after the pitches and looking after those key players. I've just been corrected on that. 9 innings for the final today.
And no time limit for a 9 innings game.
So 7 innings earlier today for the third and fourth playoff, won by the Team Madison Helliers. So just still running, there he is, Jonathan Salvi, one of the great coaches involved heavily with the Auckland Tuatara, highly regarded by Steve Mintz, the Tuatara manager out of the United States. And their job is to manage the rotation, take some of the guesswork out, provide some of the strategy, make the changes when the changes need to be made. Mark, you've watched both teams throughout this competition. Your Young Counties Manukau side has been involved. You've seen them. Do you sort of sense that one team does bring an edge into this final?
This is one that's very hard, too close to call. I think it'll be a real pitcher's battle today. Both sides bring strong hitting across from 1 to 9. I think it'll come down to who's got the best arms on the mound today.
Okay, and now we get set for the national anthem of New Zealand. One of the great traditions in baseball. Under 20, under 19 final set to go. Two Auckland clubs. It is the might of the North Shore, the two times champions, up against the home team, Howick Pakuranga Hawks. The emerging talent, the emerging stars of New Zealand baseball. A showdown over 9 innings. Looking forward to this one. Follett Field is the venue. If you are around Auckland, you are watching this, we do encourage people, get yourself along, plenty of time to witness the future stars of one of New Zealand's fastest growing sports. Alongside of me, bringing you all the expert comments today, is Mark Irwin, well established in the sport of baseball for a long time, managed a lot of New Zealand junior teams over the years, these days trying to establish the sport in the county's Manukau region. Also, Mr. Baseball himself, Dale Budge. Afternoon to you, Dale. Welcome.
It's great to be here. Really looking forward to this final. Some quality players of both teams. They've been the cream of the last few days, cream of the last few years, really, these two clubs at age group level. And looking forward to seeing who can prevail on what is a beautiful day for baseball here in the eastern suburbs of Auckland.
Now, Mark, you've been in a managerial position. If you were in this situation, one of these two teams was yours, what would be that message? What would you be saying to these young sides?
Just it's all about the focus. The key, bringing the basics. It's not about the highlights. It's not about anything else. It's about bringing the basics to the game, doing what you know you do best, and just support each other. Be there, be a team. Okay.
And also, too, we got on the mound today, we've got Ryoma Fuse for the North Shore City, and he comes up against Joe Yamamoto for Howick Pakuranga.
Young Joe, he's in from Japan, popped across to get some game, and originally from New Zealand, but playing some very high-class ball at the moment out of Japan. Ryoma, very strong player for the North Shore over the last couple of years, so I think this will be a real great battle off the hill. Looking forward to it.
Very good table setters for Howick Pakuranga too, with the likes of Lasoa, Mosa, Wild Boar as well. That's the top three of that batting lineup for the North Shore City. Dale Budge, well, where do you start? Heavy Asian influence in this team.
Yeah, some really good quality players that have been on the fringe of, or been playing for New Zealand age group teams across the years. I know wearing the Auckland Tuatara hat today, there are a couple of players here that would like to, keep close tabs on, the players that have been talked about as future stars of the game. And, likes of Taichi Nakao, Sota Watanabe's been sort of around the age group scenes for a little while now. Minchan Kim, talented player, and Jason Greenslade as well. Some guys that are on the fringe and players that the Auckland Tuatara and the national teams are going to be paying close attention to this afternoon.
So we're just seeing Joe Yamamoto here going through his warm-up protocols. His catcher today is Harrison Wildboar. Let's talk about the importance of that relationship.
Hugely important, this relationship, the pitcher-catcher. And at this level, the understanding, the ability for the catcher to adjust, be able to go out and talk and calm your pitcher down, And just be that guy. As managers, we're only allowed certain visits, so we rely heavily on the catcher to do that job for us as well. Things aren't going to plan.
And you would have seen a lot of Yamamoto in terms of the number of pitches he has in his repertoire.
He's got, I've seen a curveball, a wee bit of a change-up, definitely a fastball, and I know he's working on a breaking ball. But again, he's a guy that plays a lot offshore. So it'd be interesting to see what he brings to the table today.
Okay, so it will be Yamamoto up against Watanabe, two players of Japanese descent.
A lot of these players, Mark, have been part of that North Shore side for the last couple of years that have, tasted championship success, looking for a three-peat this afternoon, and core group that have been together, a big part of that success.
And one thing you tend to generally get with the Asian players, they are technically very good, aren't they? They tend to be very much sort of, I guess, follow the coaching manual in terms of the way they set themselves, the mechanics in which they play the game.
100%. They're very committed players. They set themselves a goal and a target, and they focus on those. Very strong that way.
So it'll come down to, we'll see a lot of players at under 19 who will be perhaps have matured more physically.
Yep.
But maybe this game might just come down to maturity on the shoulders of these young heads.
I think what Mark talked about before too, about just staying in the moment, doing the basics as well, as close to perfect as you can be. I mean, ultimately in any sport at any grade, that defines championship wins.
Okay, Watanabe set to face the first pitch and looks to bunt immediately, just changing it up, showing a little bit of a different type of intent, and that's not a bad start. Let's just go out here, change the game plan from the first pitch.
And look, it is a very Asian style, the short game. It is a game that they play very heavily in their national competitions.
So Yamamoto. A good curveball, doesn't get the strike though, and it'll be interesting to see just where the strike zone is for our home umpire, Travis Watson. They'll all have a slightly different strike zone as long as they're consistent. So 1-1 the count. This time fastball straight down Broadway. So 1-2. And Yamamoto ahead on the count early.
A big occasion for Travis Watson too. Umpire, I think with a lot of talent. Saw him at ABL level last summer, and someone who's pretty highly thought of in the national scene.
This time outside, it should be a ground ball to shortstop. Simple 6-3 play. First out, so good start from Yamamoto, good start from the Pakuranga Hawks.
Yeah, moving down the line there. Great play by the shortstop, Trey Wildboar, throwing it across to his brother Jacob at first base.
And Mark's been out and had players out on this facility for the last few days, but always felt a good idea at this level to try and put the ball in play, put some pressure on the fielders to try and make sure that they make those routine plays.
Taiichi Nakao is the next batter up, batting at 2. He's their shortstop for North Shore City. So it went from a left-handed hitter now to a right-handed hitter. So a slight adjustment required from Yamamoto.
I think in the early days of the Tuatara development player, Taiichi.
Taiichi has a look at that. Strike call. So 1-1 now the count. The wind just starting to pick up a little bit too. It's been a beautiful day here in Auckland, but the breeze just starting to come across this ground. Good, gets plenty on that too, but it is a high fly ball and should be comfortably taken in centre field. So 2 up, 2 down. Great economy there from Joe Yamamoto.
Yes, you'll see in the replay, Taiichi gets a hold of that well, pops up to Iamosa, centre fielder for Pakuranga Hawks, well underneath it, safely taken, 2 outs.
Tui Iamosa, another player that have a lot of people watching closely this afternoon, a guy with a lot of talent.
Bunji Nakao batting 3 in the lineup. Has a look at that first pitch, straight down Broadway, and Yamamoto picks up a strike. So good economy from the Pakuranga starting pitcher.
He's looked sharp, hasn't he? Pounding the strike zone.
Got into a good rhythm. But
A couple of pitches, he got calls on the corners.
This time, another high fly ball, and that should almost be an action replay. And Amosa coming round, taking another catch, and 3 up, 3 down. Good start for Howick Pakuranga. We move to the bottom of the first, and at the moment, score remains at 0-0.
Yeah, Joseph's finding his range and his ability, understanding his numbers and how much he's thrown this week. He's certainly finding his locations very well early on in the piece. Sure, Coach Salvi and Wild Ball will be very pleased with that first effort.
Okay, now an opportunity here to have a look at Ryoma Fuse pitching, and he'll come up against a very good top 3 in Eli Lasawa, Tui Amosa and Trey Wildbore. So Wildbore the shortstop, Amosa playing in centre field, and Lasawa the left fielder. Dissimilar uniforms.
I think it's two things that, something that both of these two clubs have done really well is focus on youth over a long period of time. It brings sustained success. If you do have a period where the men's team isn't quite at a successful level, or a level where they're challenging for titles, that there's another wave of kids behind that are ready to come through and infiltrate that top side. So there's no surprise that they've been the two dominant clubs in recent times in Auckland.
Okay, and we have
leading things off.
So Lasawa to lead things off for the Howick Pakuranga Hawks. So Kim Min Chan is the catcher, so that combination will be interesting to see Min Chan and Fuse, and that communication and that understanding that Fuse has of this batting lineup for Howick Pakuranga. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What pitches to avoid based on the particular batter? What are the weaknesses of Lasawa? Does he like the inside ball? Does he like the fast ball outside? And that is the job really of the catcher, to try and determine that, relay that message through to his pitcher.
In the starting pitcher, Ryoma, he has both sides to his game, hitting a grand slam out of this diamond yesterday afternoon in the same game between the same two teams.
So just waiting for them to take these sort of 8 pitches. Just to get a feel for this ground, get a feel for the depth, because while the dimensions might be exactly the same around the world, you can tune up to certain grounds and sometimes it'll just feel like the mound is shorter to home plate. Other grounds it'll feel longer for some reason.
How much of a scouting report's done at this level, Mark, in terms of each hitter? I mean, you're concentrating on certain batters and knowing certain traits about them?
For the regular season, we generally find the coaches have had a look at these guys throughout the regular season, but again, during the regular season, we're going at each team with our top pitching staff, so we know where they sit. So in tournaments like this, anything can happen.
Let's a look at that first pitch. Ball called low. So Lasawa leading things off for the Hawks.
Very accomplished hitter is Eli.
So Fuse this time does get the strike, so makes that slight adjustment. Strike ball count now 1-1. Dirt, so it will be so. He finds himself ahead on the count. 2 balls, 1 strike. So the breeze has just picked up. It is a beautiful day, but it's just one of those little adjustments.
Breeze sort of blowing in from right field almost, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Traditional breeze that you get here at Follett Field.
Right to left, yep. This time straight down Broadway, good pitch, 2-2. to try and clip the outside corner. Watson says no. Too far outside. Ball called. 3-2, full count.
Yeah, disciplined at bat so far here from Eli Lasoa.
And early consistency shown by Travis behind the plate.
Throws a bit of heat this time, strikes him out. So good start from Fuse. 1 up, 1 down. Good economy as well.
Tuiamosa, very talented youngster. Again, someone that certainly been topic of conversation around Tuatara roster meetings and discussions. Definitely a player to watch over the next few years.
Another left-hander. I was just saying earlier, Dale, in third and fourth, just how many left-handers played the sport of baseball.
Yeah, certainly an advantage in baseball if you can be a left-hander.
Well, nice curveball too. Great pitch from Fuse. So he threw a couple of previous pitches where he just threw heat. Now just showing his diversity. It's a nice little change-up.
Already that demeanour on the mound looks like he's just a little more relaxed. The first 2 or 3 pitches he threw, he looked a little sort of nervous in the occasion and whatnot.
Most of it now. Yep, has a wee look into the dirt. 1-1 the count.
In saying that, Budgie, they both seem to have jumped into their pitch selection and that very quickly, these two, both pitches today.
Mark Irwin alongside of me, Dale Budge as well, bringing you all the action of the United Airlines New Zealand Baseball Under-19 tournament. 2-time defending champions North Shore City up against the home team, Howick Pakuranga. Tuiamosa batting second in the lineup. At the time outside, Travis Watson calls a ball. And that'll be the interesting thing to see how quickly both Fuse, the pitcher for North Shore City, and Yamamoto, the pitcher for Howick Pakuranga, adjust to that strike zone of Travis Watson, the plate umpire. Good curveball, great pitch. 2-2 the count.
Gets the call that time. Minshan Kim trying to frame that last pitch, didn't get the call. On the curveball, gets it inside half of the plate.
Yeah, Minshan Kim, catcher. This time, Travis Watson says no.
Geez, that's not a bad pitch to miss on.
No, just maybe thought it might have just painted the corner on the inside, but
full count. This is quality stuff. Really good start from both teams. Thought Lasoa's at bat was really good the previous one. Took a nasty pitch to get rid of him.
Got him outside, got him swinging.
And in a tournament with fatigue and arm numbers and pitch counts being so critical, just ensuring you get your batters to take those quality at bats.
Yeah. Well, I think mostly he would be happy if he just sort of sucked up a few more foul balls if he had to at the moment, and just sort of force Fuse to have to throw a few more pitches, get him out of the game earlier.
Yeah, 7th pitch of the bat coming up.
And regardless, within the baseball community, we class a quality at bat regardless of the outcome, 5 to 7 pitches or above.
Yeah, this time gets the walk though, so runner on base. So the 1 out, runner now on base, and Trey Wildboar, the shortstop.
From Johnny Salvi too, does Tuiamosa. Really good at bat.
Yeah, Johnny Salvi.
Trey's played international level softball for New Zealand as well as his baseball.
Yep, batting 3 holes, so here we go. Shortstop.
Bit of pop in his bat too.
Yeah, quite a tall, sort of lanky figure. Very athletic, very elastic in terms of that ability to pull the trigger.
Comes to the plate with a very relaxed batting style, but has very quick hands.
Yep.
Great bats, hand speed.
Very explosive.
Coach Irwin, when do we look at Amosa running here, given that quite a delayed sort of pitching style, doesn't he? His Fuse.
He does.
That, on that back foot for a minute.
But also you look at the quality of the catcher in Minshan Kim. Great arm, he's got a cannon behind there. But in saying that, Amosa's very quick. I'd be looking to move him sooner rather than later.
This time has a look at that pitch just on the inside. Travis Watson says ball, so well left. Wildboar, he's got a pretty good read on things so far.
I would say Coach Wildboar looking at this as making decisions from the third base line. But I'd be looking to pull him across as quick as I possibly could.
Johnny Southey very active in the first base, Coach as well.
We have a look at that opportunity here, don't we, for Amosa. Does he go? Coiled spring. No, they look to try and pick him off.
Very athletic as Amosa.
So, Fuse will be wanting to try and bring this bottom of the first to a close, just the one out. Want to get that runner in scoring position. Fuse that time, trying to just get that inside corner, but Watson's been consistent, to be fair. And so that's not his strike zone. He needs to make the adjustment now.
Middle infield defence pretty solid too for North Shore City behind them, so looking opportunity perhaps to turn 2 here if they can get the right pitch on the ground. Watanabe and Meyer up the middle.
So 3-1 now the count, so very much ahead on the count. Here's Wild Boar. Most of these set to explode out of first base and try and steal second. Or
strong lead by Amosa, really putting pressure, having Fuse think about it. You know, we know that one of the bigger jobs for a pitcher is to keep runners close when they're on base.
Looks to go. They look to get him at second. They get him at second. And that is outstanding play. We talked about the experience, didn't we, of the catcher for North Shore City, Min Chan Kim. And that was a great demonstration of it. He's got a wonderful arm, isn't he?
It's an absolute cannon, that arm. He throws a hose. I mean, he clearly got into position early, saw the runner lead, set himself. Great throw. Great support from his infield.
Yeah, that was a brilliant piece of throwing from Min Chan Kim. Amosa got a good jump. And yet absolutely hosed at second base.
Great to see athlete versus athlete.
Yeah. We just see a little chat between home plate umpire and the HP coach Walbor.
Wandering out now to probably question the second base umpire, Mike Vusacek, who made the call.
I mean, the throw was clearly there. I guess the only thing they're talking about was whether the tag was applied. There's absolutely no question the throw beat him.
No, I think sometimes it's a little bit of theatre too, isn't it? You know, you want to maybe just sort of see if you can get the umpire feeling a bit guilty here, and then maybe next time he reverses the decision. But that's clearly out, isn't it? When you look at it, it's great baseball.
Great throw, great tag.
Yeah, great baseball.
And you saw right at the start of the very explosive jump from Amosa.
Kaiden Maya, second base.
Great job by the Stream Shop team to capture that replay too.
This time, some good play, and that should bring the inning to a close. And so, Trey Wildball, not successful, good at bat. And as we head to the top of the second, neither team yet to score in this New Zealand Under-19 National Baseball Final.
As predicted early, I believed it was going to be a battle of the hill, and so far both pitchers have started extremely well. Confidence, no nerves, and when there has been a play off the bat, the teams are supporting well.
Yeah, really good quality start from both teams. The officials, I think it's been, that was certainly something we would like to be seeing on the TV screens.
Yeah, considering too the proximity of this tournament, you know, we saw the third playoff game today for the bronze medal, a lot of errors, a lot of runs scored on errors. You could sense there was fatigue. Both teams just look a little bit more sharper in this final. Both teams just look a little bit more alert, just crisper in their throwing, crisper in the pitching.
The way the tournament's been structured too, with the top and the bottom sections, the top section have sort of played afternoon games, so allowed the guys not have to be here early in the morning, time to freshen up, get themselves together. And their last game yesterday was, I believe 1 p.m, so they've had 24 hours to get themselves set into the right frame of mind.
Yeah, you kind of asked to the mentality of that sort of third, fourth playoff. You know, the teams are disappointed that they're not playing for the championship. Maybe they're not at 10/10. You know, as you say, it's been a long week, it's been a hot week. Fatigue comes into it, and mental fatigue as much as the physical fatigue as well.
That's it, and both teams have played each other yesterday on both sides of the top end of the draw.
So Joe Yamamoto on the mound for Howard Pakuranga, and to come and lead off this top of the second will be Ryoma Fuse, the pitcher for the North Shore City, batting 4 in the lineup, or 4 hole.
Let's see if Hughes can give himself some sort of run support here by good quality at bat, lead-off runner.
Well, pitcher against pitcher, you don't often see it a lot in baseball where the pitchers have such an important part or a part of the batting lineup.
As I sort of mentioned earlier, Ryoma actually put one out over the fence here yesterday against the same team, a grand slam late in the game, so we know he can hit.
But also too, they've also got probably a little bit of historical information on him too, so they'll know what his strengths and weaknesses are. Now you talk about the scouting reports.
Just a problem here with the gear, I think the catcher's gear for young Walball. Harrison Walball, there's a few of the Walballs in action today, a couple of players and
two brothers and a cousin and a coach.
Coach as well, yeah.
Yeah, unusual name, Wildball. It's not a name you hear a lot of.
Certainly hear it a little bit at baseball and softball diamonds around the country, that's for sure. They've a very talented family, all ingrained in the HP culture here out in East Auckland. Just see it, a little issue with the helmet. Looks like we're about good to go now.
Now, we just also want a bit of a shout out too to Logan Nye, North Shore's catcher, who's at home watching from bed with a broken leg. I hope you are enjoying it, big guy. Hopefully you'll be wishing, fingers crossed, that North Shore can get it done, get the three-peat. But yeah, so enjoy watching it there, Logan. So Ryoma Fuse up against Joe Yamamoto. Yamamoto outside, Travis Watson calls the ball. This time, fastball but low, so 2-0 the count.
And I think these two teams, when they played each other yesterday, bit of cat and mouse, it really meant nothing. Today was the day, so.
I mean, do you work backwards as a coach? I mean, do you sort of work back your best pitcher you keep for a championship game, or is it too difficult? I mean, there's two sort of pre-tournament favourites presumably going into it. Are they?
In the
early
early
work
days,
that way?
Mate, I learned by mistakes, but I always believe you can't play it. You have to get to a final to play a final, and it is what it is.
So previous pitcher strike count is 2-1, but now it goes to 3-1. So Fuse ahead on the count as the batter. So Yamamoto just needs to make that little adjustment in their communication between himself and his catcher, Wildball, Harrison Wildball.
Opportunity here for Fuse to sit on a pitch, and he
And
sits
he launches
on that one.
That goes long. Is it going? Is it going? Well, certainly the double. Can he make it a triple? Is it I was going to say stand-up double and then the error, and he'll move them in advance. The score's now round to 3 and looking to come home. In fact, no, they say stay there on 3. Let's not panic. So you talked about yesterday hitting pretty much the sayonara home run. Well, he's got plenty of bat on that, Ryoma Fuse, and suddenly it is North Shore City in a scoring position.
We look at the replay here. I think there's been some sort of questions asked around the.
He's a bit tardy, isn't he, Mike? I think
one.
he felt it might have been going out, so he just sort of takes a bit of a turn, and then what does he do here? Fall over. Oh, runs into the first baseman. There we go. That was the problem.
You really, I think you got it right there, Budge. He was a bit tardy. He worried about where the hit was going instead of, just taking off. That was a stand-up triple.
Yeah, it should have been.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, he gets to third base for a little bit of poor fielding from HP, but nice piece of hitting nonetheless.
Tiaho Wall now, right fielder. Wall coming in. Has a look at that first pitch, and it is a strike. So good comeback here from Yamamoto with that next pitch. So Tiaho Wall looking to try and drive the run in. No outs. Very much advantage over North Shore. As a wee look at that though, they will look for the double. Runner scores. Another mistake. Boy, this is what pressure does at this level. That is just simply not good enough from Howard Pakuranga.
Yeah, good fielder too.
Opening the door here. North Shore walking through it.
Hunter Salvi, I think, had the ball in his glove, or thought he did before he actually did, looking at home plate to see whether the runner's going. Failed to get the out at first. So
now runners on the corner, first and third. Boy, that'll be frustrating for Johnny Salvi.
This will bring Howard Pakuranga defensively into their first and third defensive mode.
Min-Chan Kim, he's a quality player. Doesn't get any easier, does it? Now Yamamoto, he'll be frustrated. He'll be really frustrated. He's got to just block it out. And this is one of the challenges for players at this under-19 level, is having that mental fortitude and the experience to just move on, move forward. Don't look back. And Chan Kim, foul ball away. Owen won the count. Runners on first and third. Advantage North Shore, top of the second.
As we've already seen with Min-Chan catching, he brings some serious power.
Double steal on potentially here, Mark, too. Opportunity to stay out of that double play, get another runner to scoring position and potentially bring that runner in from third on the base paths.
100%.
Runner goes.
This time he gets plenty on that. He's launched that one and he just gets it just between left and centre field, and runners will score. To two come home, one comes home. So it is an RBI double. An RBI double for Kim Min-Chan. We talked about just what a quality player he is.
North Shore early on in the game, bringing the experience of two-time finalists already. Howard Pakuranga just now need to take a breath, just relax. It's early in the game.
Well, they trail 2 runs to nothing, and still a runner in scoring position, no outs, and it will be Branson Matsumoto who will come to the plate.
That's a good pitch. Just felt he needed that just to settle down for a moment. A little bit of atmosphere around the ground. North Shore dugout buoyed by runs.
So, Branson Matsumoto. As a wee look at that, he finds himself behind on the count, as Dale Budge just mentioned. Good comeback here from Yamamoto. Really like to just get the job done here. Minimise the damage. What does he throw? He goes to straight down Broadway, wide though. Travis Watson says ball.
Nice job by Wild Ball to block that too in the dirt.
Yamamoto, great pitch. And the first out of the inning. And Matsumoto goes back to the dugout. And it'll bring up Kaiden Maya now.
The third baseman, Kaden Meyer.
Kaiden, another young player with international experience.
Oh, he gets it on that, it goes long. Fly ball though, catch should be taken comfortably. Runner decides to go to third.
Lovely arm from Tuiamosa.
That keeps him there, anchored at second base. But that is the second out of the inning.
Any young players at home watching that outfield play by Tuiamosa, absolutely spot on.
Of course, the runner was on second, had the opportunity once the catch was taken to try and get to third, but the arm just simply too strong, therefore not prepared to risk it.
Everything about Tui's placement set up. There was no way that runner was going to get the opportunity to move.
So Jason Greenslade, centre fielder for North Shore City. And his first at bat. Has a look at the first pitch. Ball call. Try and pick him off at second. Good play. Good all-round play. Not easy having to turn 180 degrees and make the adjustment. For your second or shortstop, shortstop covering second base.
For a young man who's only been with Howard since just before Christmas, he's a lot of trust in his field right now.
So Greenslade, a hit on the count. 2-0 pitch. Watson says no, that's too high in my zone.
Wasn't a bad pitch either. Just missing.
time, low.
It's a big moment in the game, you feel, early mark. 9-hole hitter, 3-0 count. Really want to be making Greenslade swing the bat.
Well, yeah, we talked about this in the game. Sometimes just back your fielding team. Even give up the hit if you have to. It puts them onto first base, and suddenly runners on first and second in scoring position.
Top of the order now. Satu Watanabe.
So we go back to the top of the order. Satu Watanabe to lead things off, one of the table setters.
And as we discussed in the earlier game, Mark, I mean, the lineup 1 to 9 really means nothing at this level. You're generally batting all the way through and off the bench.
But we are talking too, and you find yourself in that down, 3 balls, no strikes, maybe back your fielding team. Don't be afraid to have a little bat on ball.
I've been super impressed with Joseph so far, and he is still a very young man.
So Yamamoto.
Good job there too by Wildbore again to block that pitch in the dirt. Keep it in front of him. Runners can't advance.
So runners
There's a
on.
force play here at any bag.
That is low. So
really, I feel at the moment the North Shore batters see that he's struggling a bit to relocate that zone he had in the first innings, and are now looking to sort of bide their time, a wee bit more patience in the box.
I think you've called that too, as we see Johnny Salvi come out of the HP dugout, just to talk things over a little bit here with Yamamoto.
Yeah, and this can be also just about a little bit of change of momentum, isn't it? Just slow things down a little bit, take some of the momentum away from the hitters.
Salvi understands, I think, the flow of the game really well, and he played reasonably high-level sport himself, so just probably understands this is an important part of the game, important time of the game. Settle down and try and get back to what he was doing in that first inning, get the out. Giving up a couple of runs, back your offence to get those runs back and concentrate on what was working for you so well.
Exactly, it was an immaculate start, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a terrific start. I thought he was lights out in that first inning, and just run into a little bit of problem here.
Coach Southey's throwing, showing trust in him here. He's left him out there.
Watanabe up against Yamamoto, the pitcher. And this time looks to throw a little bit heat, but low, wide, ball called 2-0.
Just missing low.
Runner in scoring position. It's a better pitch. So 2-2 now the count. What does he do?
I think he's looking to find that ground ball right about now, that pop-up, get himself an out.
As I said, force played any bag now, so ball on the ground in the infield somewhere.
This time he does exactly that, but it will be a single and possibly a runner will come home and score. Now the arm comes through, but it will be another run to North Shore City, and that is a very good RBI being shown by Sato Watanabe. Well, we talked about Yamamoto just simply wanting to get bat on ball, try and force an out at any of the 3 bases, but boy, it found terra firma.
Yeah, and the thing here, Joseph is not pitching badly, just North Shore are batting well. This is a great baseball. This is great baseball.
Yeah, nice calm piece of hitting there, wasn't it? Just put the ball in play up the middle and try and do too much with it.
I tell you what, Lasoa too's got a very good arm on him, so just shows foul ball away. 3 runs to nil. All those 3 runs being scored at the top of the second. 2 outs though. Yamamoto just trying to get himself out here. Trying to just end this inning. Have a wee break. Regain his composure. Work through his mechanics. Have further chats to Johnny Salvi. As we see Bunji, Taichi Nakao.
He might have the highest ceiling out of any player in that North Shore City lineup. Would it be fair to say, Mike?
Definitely.
Very
100%.
talented young player.
100%. I've travelled with Taichi, hard worker.
Certainly someone that's in the mix. We talked about him being in the Tuatara program in first year. A guy that has been talked about potentially being on the roster in the next year or 2.
This time, Yamamoto really starting to struggle. We saw a previous pitch, which was a curveball, which was wide. That time just low.
I think the North Shore relaxed batting approach they've brought to this game and just putting the ball in play, it's sort of put the pitcher a wee bit in 2 minds now where he's going to throw that ball.
You've got really contrasting styles in the way that each team is coached. You know, Johnny Salvi is a very intense character, a lot of energy, and you compare that to Dan Tan on the North Shore side, very measured, calm. Both of them excellent coaches, but just vastly different styles and approaches.
Nice change up from Yamamoto to bring that count to 2-2. The fastball almost gets away from him.
And at times when the emotions kick in, you can see the North Shore calmness, the Dan Tan coming out in them. You know, it's just, yeah.
So payoff pitch, full count here now. Big pitch in the overall scheme of things.
So Yamamoto gets him swinging, and that is the third out. But the damage has been done in the top of the second. North Shore, the two-time defending champion, with a 3-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second over Howick Pakuranga, the home team.
Look, you know, there's still plenty of time in this game. Howick Pakuranga now will regroup. Great coaching staff, great mentality as a team. They'll come back strong. I think we're in for a really good day.
Yeah, now we're looking forward to seeing what the HP offence can do in response. Quality players on that side too. First inning was all about pitching, wasn't it? Both pitchers looked dominant in that first inning, and just started to see the North Shore batting lineup come into play in this top of the second.
The thing is, we know that Howick have that power within their batting lineup, and at some point it's bound to have, it's bound to fire.
Do we have much of an indication, Mark, of what sort of stocks both teams have in terms of pitching arsenal and who's available today for them?
No, I'm not too sure. I tried to catch up with Johnny Salvi or Hayden Wildbore earlier, and they had their team over the back. I didn't get to see too many, but I think arms will be at a premium. You know, it has been a long week, and so arms will be at a premium. And of course, with young guys like Joseph, he's on a shorter pitch count. And when I say that, we have different pitch allocations per day and daily limits for the different age groups. And he is a very young player.
Can you, off the top of your head, do you know roughly what those pitch counts are for this tournament?
Yeah, for 13 and 14-year-olds, it was 1 to 20 for 1 day, 1 to 35, for no days rest, 1 to 35 for a day's rest, so on up to 75 plus 5 days rest. Then you get into the 15, 16-year-olds, it's 1 to 30.
There's Johnny Southey coming across now, just inquiring about that pitch count. It is such a factor at age group level, so 38 pitches thrown so far.
Well, on that we get thrown out. On a pitch count breach, it's the manager that gets ejected from the game.
There you go. That's pretty important.
So Harrison Wildbore will lead off the bottom of the third, bottom of the second for Howick Pakuranga. Really desperately trying to get some runs on the board. This very good catching combination of Ryoma Fuse and Min-Chan Kim. We've seen how lethal Kim is with his arm as a catcher.
Harrison Wildbore, like his cousin Trey, an international softballer, loves his baseball.
Here's a wee look at that good curveball. Great start from Fuse, showing plenty of variety. Wildbore happy just to have a wee look though.
Yeah, it's a nasty pitch to get first up, isn't it?
This time backs it up with a fastball. Watson says no.
Just outside.
Travis Watson been very consistent on the outside corner today.
Yeah, just saw Umpires boss Warren Van Rooyen walk past, tap on the shoulder. I think he's pleased so far with what he's seen from his staff.
So 1-1 the count. This time, line drive down left field, foul ball.
Just drifting foul. That breeze sort of taking it from right to left as you see it on the screen. So just dragging that ball foul.
So
not far away though.
Just slightly caught out front on that pitch and pulled it foul there.
Fuse, nice change up.
What a
strikes him out. Great pitch. Well, great control. Shown a lot of maturity. That's not easy at this level to bring that change up, to bring out that variety at such a consistent and just a technically very good release point.
Just completely rolled through the pitch, completely followed it through.
Yeah, that's a highlight reel play. Reel of pitches at least anyway.
So Joe Yamamoto, the pitcher, he decides to swing at the very first pitch. high fly ball, and it will be in play. The catch is comfortably taken in right field by Tiahu Wall.
I wonder if the coaches would agree with you, comfortably taken on that one, Mark, but he got the job done.
Oh, I think it looked comfortable. I think he'd been tough on him. Well, I think too, because you're not used to looking at under 19 level in the major leagues, those sorts of things are taken comfortably. So it's just automatic, isn't it, to say, well, that'll be comfortably taken.
Without
and then you
doubt.
sort of got to remind yourself a little bit. Well, hang on a minute. You know,
It's windy. There's sun about. You're looking up. Sun.
I mean, if Dale Budge had been fielding out there, I probably would have changed my.
We're working on that.
Fastball from Fuse. And so
reliability in the field these days.
3 runs to nothing, 2 out. So very good bottom of the second so far from Ryoma Fuse. But Hunter Salvi,
Right on that pitch, just fouls it off.
foul balls away. So 0-2 the count, so he finds himself behind on the count. So it's all in favour at the moment of Fuse, of North Shore City.
Very skilled little player is Hunter, son of coach Jonathan Salvi.
1 strike away from sending it to the top of the third.
Certainly works hard under Salvi. It's that work ethic from his old man.
Oh, Patience too has a look at that. Happy to note, no, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fuse hasn't really been put under pressure so far. It'll be interesting to see how his young head deals with a little bit of adversity if and suddenly, there is a bit of a shift here in momentum, how he handles the pressure suddenly. So far things are going his way. Oh, unlucky not to get the strike there. Well, Travis Watson.
He's been consistent there, to be fair.
Yep, that's not his strike.
Third or fourth
we saw
time.
earlier this morning of our previous home plate umpire, that was his strike zone. And what we're saying is that every umpire will have a different strike zone. You as the hitter have to understand that. You as the pitcher need to adapt pretty quickly.
Wouldn't we say different too? I mean, there is a set standard and everybody views that. I mean, this year we've dropped down a ball, so it has shortened.
Yep. Ground out to third, the little error, and therefore runner on base. Southey getting the job done. So the door just slightly ajar, and Howard Pakuranga have just walked through it.
And with the runner on base, here comes first baseman Jake Wildmore.
Probably just a wee bit lackluster by the third baseman there. Probably not getting the body behind the ball.
Yeah, young Maya, just a little bit casual. I think he's quite a casual type player by nature, but perhaps a little too casual on that occasion.
Another left-hander too, and Wildmore.
Runner on base now for HP.
Yeah, first base, Wildmore, so opportunity for him. And he goes outside, and Watson says no. That clipped the outside corner, strike.
Southey, another one capable of stealing a bag here, but we've already seen Minshan Kim's arm catch it.
But also young Jacob Wildmore, not big in stature, but this boy can hit a ball.
It's interesting his stance, isn't it? Looking at that Dale Budge, Jake Wildboy stands quite a way away from home plate in terms of his batting stance.
But he's very aware of where he is in the plate, and each batter does that differently.
Everyone has their different little likes and dislikes. Yeah, Jared Walker was steady just about on top of the plate.
Little idiosyncrasies. And
Runner
again,
goes.
Minchan, we've seen how good he is. Wayward throw this time, but they'll keep him at second.
Ooh.
So Minchan Kim, well, he certainly had the velocity. Really, just at the end of the day, just not quite the accuracy. Really should have probably been 3 outs, but suddenly a runner in scoring position. Southey.
We really doubled him up here because Southey took a big turn when he saw the ball go sailing over second baseman's head. Takes the big turn and no one on the bag.
And just looking at the replay, when he actually turned to where the ball was, I think that would have been a very close play if the throw was on target.
Yeah, absolutely. So now runner in scoring position for HP.
Oh, they've almost dredged up something out of nothing here. And again, we talked about Ryoma Fuse. How does he handle pressure? Because he's under a little bit of pressure for the first time in this game. Foul ball away. Count will come back to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Game on.
Talented Gabe Lasour in the on-deck circle.
So Jake Wildball up against Ryoma Fuse. And Oh, great curveball, lovely little change-up, strikes him out, and that brings the inning to a close, and it's still North Shore City as we head to the top of third, leading 3 runs to nothing.
Yeah, look, it's been a very interesting start to the game, hasn't it, Mark? I mean, a wee bit of a pitching battle, then the bats started firing, so I think the next 6 innings, I'm really looking forward to them.
Yeah, intriguing contest. But as you said, I mean, it's now up to Howick Pakuranga too. They've got to rely on their hitters, don't they? You can't just simply go, well, look, our pitching stuff wasn't good enough today. You've got to rely on your hitters as well. And
it's been a couple of years since they've been at the Under-19 final, and as I said earlier, you know, North Shore, they win today. That's 3 in a row. Probably a big part of their motivation.
So you are watching live coverage here on Sky Next of New Zealand Baseball's New Zealand Under-19 tournament for 2020-2021. And it is the 2-time defending champions North Shore leading 3 runs to 0 over Howick Pakuranga. 2 Auckland clubs. Dale Budge, how important now that we do see Howick Pakuranga have to step up, their hitters have to contribute. We know that pitching, there is going to be a high level of fatigue here. There's not necessarily going to be the depth. Offence, hitting, as important.
Well, they need to get through scoreless inning here, you'd think. Just 3 up, 3 down, or just get it through without any more offence being scored from North Shore. Just for their own confidence, if nothing else. Saw some signs there, that runner aboard and runner advancing to scoring position, but 3 runs is not
it's not a big mountain
it's
to climb.
Not a big
right
mountain
now.
to climb, no, not at this point in the game, but you don't want to fall behind and concede more runs here and have that momentum stay with North Shore.
Young Joseph on 38 pitches so far in the first 2.
So Joe Yamamoto. So Bunji Nakao. Still a wayward pitch from Yamamoto.
Breeze has just dropped off a touch, hasn't it?
Certainly has. Yeah, young Bunji here, he's a very talented young player and he's a very calm player. Naturally a calm man.
Yeah, back close to the plate as well, just looking at his feet set up here. Right on the line there. They look to try and go on the inside and just cramp him up, but ball called from Travis Watson.
Just looking at the body language of Yamamoto, just doesn't look like he's overly happy at the moment, so snatching at the ball, it was thrown back to him there. Just needs to find a bit of a rhythm.
That's better, but high. Another runner on base. Just can't shut this momentum down, can they? We talked about 3 up, 3 down.
I wonder how long before we see Coach Salvi out to have another word.
It's that ongoing mental fortitude, isn't it, after day 5 and the fatigue setting in.
Yeah, not getting a couple of close calls and then just missing a little bit himself. Frustration starting to seep in.
Now the pitcher, Ryoma Fuse, has already played such a big part in this game so far. We saw him earlier, I think, with a stand-up double. Brought a couple of runners home.
Some great work there by Harrison Wildball, keeping that ball in front and keeping the runner at first.
Don't think we've seen a pass ball yet, have we? Catchers have done a good job.
Yeah, both sides, yeah. I think you're right there, Budgie.
So 1-0.
Wildball's had a bit of work to do. We've seen a couple of pitches in the dirt. He's done a good job keeping them in front of him.
Thanks for that curveball, but on the inside. 2-0 the count.
This is really tests the mental fortitude, doesn't it, of the pitcher. He's only just missing. You know, good pitches, only just not quite exactly where he wanted, but not far off either.
When we have the quality of the consistency with the umpires, you've just got to learn to adjust.
3-0, so well and truly ahead of the count, though, the batter.
Again, frustration there. Frustration there from Yamamoto. Didn't get the call from plate umpire Travis Watson.
Well, he needs to adjust, though, doesn't he? He needs to make the adjustment.
Certainly an umpire of Travis's experience isn't going to adjust. It needs to come from the pitcher.
Yeah. I think Watson's been really good.
And this also does come down to Harrison Wildbohr too. He'll be getting a read on what the umpire's saying. Let's make the adjustment. You need to come in and chire. And this time, strike does come. So we know that Watson's not afraid to give the strike. Give them the strike. Took a little bit of time there. Just took a little bit of time, Travis Watson. Right on the cusp of his zone. So, gives them the strike. And maybe Yamamoto might just be winning that psychological war. Come on, give me a few more strikes. Give me a few more strikes. And he wins that one. This time, gets him swinging. That's better. Nice comeback.
I wonder if that'll be the medicine just to settle him down. The other thing too, the experienced players in the infield, you hear at men's level, the chatter becomes more of a factor just to make them feel that you're dominating, you're okay, you're in good shape.
Tiahu Wall now, the next batter for North Shore City. Right fielder for North Shore.
Sometimes the body language can be confusing. It can be fatigue, not the mental fortitude.
Absolutely. Game's very simple up here, that's for sure. A little bit tougher down on the diamond.
Good consistency now. So is that the turning point? Has he found his zone? Has he got that rhythm going? Has he made the adjustments? 3 very good pitches. Tiahu Wall looks at that one. And the runner will advance to second, will he? He does. So runner now in scoring position for North Shore.
He got a good jump. Saw the ball in the dirt in front. Catch did a good job to block it.
Wall has a swing, good pitch, good comeback.
Really found some rhythm with that 12-6.
Gets him swinging again. And there we go, second out. And Tiahu Wall goes down swinging, struck out. So Joe Yamamoto, that'll just give him some confidence as we do start to see that pitch count go above 50 now. So he's burnt a lot of matches.
Just that last tail movement there, perfectly setting the batter up for that swing.
And now, Min Chan Kim. Good baseball player. Plenty of strength, plenty of power. They go at him.
And as a catcher, you'd expect him to have that eye.
Japan versus Korea. This time, ground to shortstop. Should be a comfortable 6-3 play. Not a great throw, but does get the out. So that brings the inning to a close. And Howick Pakuranga get out of that one. But it is still North Shore leading 3-0.
Very nice seeing the Howick defensive side get behind their pitcher there to finish that.
So change of inning. 9 inning for this final. And it is Ryoma Fuse still on the mound for North Shore. We're here to the bottom of the third. Howick Pakuranga trailing 3-0. Dale Budge alongside of me.
Yeah, a bit of a shout out to Regan Wood, to Atara GM watching on the coverage, offering his pearls of wisdom via the text.
It's funny because last week he was offering his pearls of wisdom at the Puta Tauranga Half Ironman Triathlon. And I'm sure in a couple of weeks' time when I'm doing the Road Cycling Nationals, he'll be offering his pearls of wisdom too. He's a beautiful man, Regan. He loves the sport.
He mixes up intent with ability.
Confuses ability with ambition. Is that what you're saying?
That's the line? That's your line.
That's my line. Ability with ambition.
Keeping a close tab on a few players. We talked, in all seriousness, talked about some of these players over the next couple of years progressing and where they, where their ceilings might be, where they project to get to over the coming years, and some really good quality baseball players coming through at age group level here in New Zealand. And
shout out to
seeing them playing in the ABL in coming
years.
Shout
out to Mike Riley, standing next to us too. He's picked up a Queen's Service Medal in the past for New Zealand baseball.
Absolutely.
Grew up just down the road from where I lived in Mount Albert. Andrew Laird, who's heavily involved in Auckland baseball, was my next door neighbour, so that's my connection with the sport.
I think he's watching too, Mr. Laird, president of the ABA.
Yes, he was here yesterday, was Lairdy, but...
young son Ayrton Laird on a scholarship in the States.
Named after Formula One great Ayrton Senna.
Correct.
Big fan was Andrew Laird of late Brazilian superstar.
And if I remember rightly, maybe Ayrton come across for the first win for the Tuatara at McLeod Park.
He did.
Back in their first season.
First winning run in Tuatara history. Laird is a pinch runner.
Lasoa Gabe now batting. 8-hole for Howard Pakuranga.
Gabe's another very young man, still around the 14-15 age group with a very, very mature head and a lot of power.
Well, I think that's the important thing at this level. It's about having a mature head at under 18, under 19. If you're going to select talent, you can go for strength, power, or you can go for the player with mature head, and I'm going to take the guy with the mature head. It's dealing with pressure. It's making those decisions under pressure, into the dirt again. So Fuse just struggling on those first two pitches, so he finds himself behind the count, 2-0.
And Fuse will be aware from regular season ball just what these guys bring with the bat.
And that is a ground out to shortstop. Another little error. And so runner on base. So the door just been left open now for Howard Pakuranga. That's just that little momentum swing they do need, and we do talk about it at this level. It just comes down to small percentages. It just comes down to key moments. Is that one of them, Dale Budge?
Yeah, I was a big fan at certainly at this sort of level, club level, putting the ball in play. Field's great condition here in terms of club baseball, but they're not what we see in the major leagues. You don't have the resource and whatnot, so the fields aren't quite, what is a regulation play on TV, not necessarily a regulation play down here. The standard, we're talking about under 19 kids, long week, as Marcus has talked about. So put the ball in play, put a bit of heat on the fielding team to make a regulation play.
So Noah Priest immediately comes up, looks to batting 9-hole, looks for the little bunt, looking to try and advance the runner into scoring position.
Now batting for HC, 9-hole.
Smart move by Coach Wildball, looking to push the runner early, no outs.
Yeah, I think lead-off runners here are key for HP when you're facing a 3-run deficit. Lead-off runners manufacture your way back into it.
Oh, good curveball. Nice little change up there too from Fuse. And he finds himself ahead on the count. And for Priest, he's behind on the count, 0-2.
Young Noah, prodigy from a very young age here at Howick, and working his way up, he'll be a talented young man.
Well, look, everybody's only got to look towards Andrew Mark, don't they, to see what you can achieve through the baseball system here. A wonderful season for the Tuatara last year.
Elliot Johnston too,
real
prodigious
prospect.
Talent as a youngster here out of the HP club. Was
Kyle Glagoski, another one.
Yeah, worked for a long time through the system, the older brothers and whatnot helping him along. There's a family sort of affair, both clubs to be fair.
And then you had those players that maybe haven't quite gone on to achieve, the likes of the Dale Budges over the years. Oh, sorry, Dale. Didn't realise you're co-commentating, mate.
Oh, we're going to bring him in for counties.
I sort of broke one of the conventions of broadcasting. That's sort of thrown your fellow commentator under the bus. But anyway, it's baseball at under 19 level, isn't it?
Another one that mixes ambition with talent.
Noah Priest has a wee swing. Strike him out, though. And so, first out of the bottom of the third. But Howard Pakuranga got just the smallest opportunity here to try and close that gap. Back to the top of the order.
Only one away and moving back to the top of the order.
Eli Lasoa.
So the Lasoa boys in action here. Gabe standing on first. Eli at the plate looking to move him around.
Again, another strong family connection with the club. Older brother Kaden playing here earlier, now in the Navy.
Oh, has a great pitch. Nice pitch from Fuse. You're talking about a highlight reel. That is quality. That is textbook. That is box office.
I think HP be a little more aggressive at the plate with their approach. They're almost waiting for things to happen a little bit here. I mean, Salvi is an aggressive manager by nature, so a little surprised that they're not being a little more aggressive and jumping on first pitches here and there.
And especially with the ability they do bring with the bat.
And now that runner does move to second, so in scoring position, just the one out, top of the order for Hauck Pakuranga. So this is the momentum swing, but they need to take this opportunity. They need to make a statement early.
Well, that's key, because that keeps the double play out of the equation now and brings the runner into scoring position for a very talented hitter. HP just need to chip away at this. Say 3 runs, not insurmountable. Got themselves into position now where they want to be making the scoreboard attendant work.
Great pitch. Wow.
That is a terrific pitch, isn't it?
He is. When he's dialed in. Fuse. Hope you're watching this one, Regan Wood.
He's sitting in the new apartment in Wellington, feet up, no doubt. Patting the cat and watching on Sky Sport.
Game of cat and mouse at second base.
Healthy attendance here at the ground too.
Yeah, no, very vocal too, and very tribal. That's the great thing I love about baseball. Very tribal in terms of...
Positioned all the way down the bank on the left field side of the diamond.
This time, low. Try and keep the runner there at second. So good play coming here again from
Tardy too, Mark Irwin. Just runner off the plate and taking a sweet time to get back. I think if the fielder had been in position to receive that throw from the catcher, it might have been a little bit tighter than we thought.
Definitely, Dale. I saw that there. Min Chan King keeping a close eye on runners on base and reminding them that, hey, I'm watching.
So Ali Lasoa. Great pitch. Not given the strike by Watson though, so maybe just considered deemed to be just a little bit too low.
I think Watson has been superb there. He has been consistent to the mark. Number of pitches close. Every single one of them. He has been seeing the same way. Which is all we can ask.
Yeah, we saw Yamamoto, don't we, pitching for Hauck Pakuranga, having to make the adjustment. It's the first time now Fuse is also having to make that adjustment, and he'll get that fourth ball, and suddenly runners on first and second with just one out. And Tui Amosa, this very talented player, about to come to home plate to bat.
And just the belief Eli Lasoa had in himself, 2 strikes down, but still being able to understand and control his zone and find his way to first base, draw the walk.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of class about him, can't you?
So we've got Tui Amosa. What's his instructions? What does he want to be doing here?
Well, he's looking for his pitch, that's for sure. A couple
So
of runners on board. He's a talented hitter. I'm sure he'll have the green light. Swing away if he sees something he likes.
We might see some of that aggression we've been talking about starting to pop out now.
Very talented batting lineup, Hauck Pakuranga, looking to try and close the gap. How big is this moment in this game in terms of this at-bat? Outside, he gets plenty on that, but I think he's got underneath it. It is a high pop-up fly ball. Does bounce though. Runner looks to try and come home. They'll hold them at second and third. So the second out. In fact, runners on first, second and third. So job done from Tui Amosa. Now Walbor. He's got some options with what he can do.
We did see there, Dale Budge, the aggression on the first pitch.
Yeah,
Something
first pitch swinging.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And, situational play from the HP side. Amosa putting the ball in play. Good heads-up base running too. Just how I saw the ball drop in and hold up at third. Good strong arm out there in centre field.
In this age group, 5 days in, these guys are looking to get ahead. The pitchers want to get ahead early. We want to be aggressive with the bats.
Okay, so Very talented trait. Wild ball. Responsibility on his shoulders, looking to become a hero. Looking for the RBI, looking for the home run. He'll take either. Has a look at that first pitch. And that is not an easy thing to do, to maintain that level of composure, not to come out swing aggressively.
Advantage here for HP. Mimosa, good heads-up base runner, good clean pair of heels at first base. Try and keep himself out of that double play.
So wild ball. First time Fuse has been under real pressure. Swings at that though. Good comeback pitch. 1-1 the count.
His wobble was right on that. Just swung over the top of it. Dangerous.
Really good view of his hand speed right there.
Yeah.
Intriguing contest. They talked about being very little between these two teams coming into this final. And as both teams settle down, it's starting to look very much like that. This time gets on that, skies that up though. Shortstop coming around to take
Infield
the catch.
Fly rule called.
Second base umpire Mike Pusacek called infield fly on that play.
Just get you to explain that rule, Mark Irwin, for those that maybe are not baseball aficionados watching this.
With the runners on with less than 2 outs, an infield fly, if the ball's deemed an infield fly, to take away the opportunity for the fielding team to drop that ball and then make a double play. So when that's called, the batter's automatically out.
This means that those base runners are in an impossible position if they didn't have that rule in place. You don't know whether to advance or to hold.
Yeah.
Unfair advantage to the fielding team, hence the introduction of that rule.
So, North Shore 1 out away from
Big
shutting
moment
down.
in the game now, mate.
Yep, big moment indeed. So we've got Harrison wild ball.
You know, but we have taken now with 2 outs that option of the fly ball to bring some runners home. So we need that hard driven. We need that contact.
So Harrison wild ball. He looks composed. Slightly open stance. Has a wee look at that. It was there to hit. Took the swing, but great pitch from Fuse. Just took a little bit of the pace off it.
Infield playing deep now. Just needing that 1 out to get out of this. No one bothering to keep runners on the bag or anything like that.
Let's go along the surface. Let's go along the deck. Seen a lot of errors. This time, great pitch. This time brings a little bit more heat. Gets him swinging, 0-2. So wild ball finds himself well and truly behind on the count.
Tell you what, Fuse has done a great job here, hasn't he? You know, really threatening HP, and he's looked very composed at the moment.
The contrast, isn't it, between Fuse and Yamamoto pitching for Howard Pakuranga, who's really struggled sort of in these moments. But Fuse showing that composure, showing that he does have that big game. This time gets underneath that. It's a little pop-up. The catch is taken, can I say, comfortably in right field. I think I can say comfortably in right field. So Fuse does a good job, gets the 3rd out, and it is still North Shore as we head to the top of 4th, leading 3 runs to nothing.
Yeah, no, certainly a great innings. Howard Pakuranga there with their opportunities to put runs on the board and get themselves back into this game. But some great work from both the pitcher, Fuse, and the field backing him up. Have seen Howard Pakuranga scoreless again. Yeah,
this has been good quality from both sides. HP threatening there, but North Shore good enough to close the door on them.
Interesting, in the previous inning, we're going to see Yamamoto come back onto the mound, but you just started to feel like he was just starting to settle down. I guess the concern now is, though, how far through that pitch count is he in terms of the number of pitches he can throw?
Well, we look at him too. I caught up briefly with his dad during one of the seasons just to check on his age, because I know he's a young guy, Joseph, and he's 14. You know, he's a 14-year-old young man, so he's sort of playing.
Boy, what a future if he's 14 throwing like this.
In a gold medal match at a 19 and under tournament at the age of 14. I mean, straight away, just the head around him and the way he fought back hard. Very impressive.
And it's funny, just in a commentary position, we're sitting almost behind home plate here and just standing up and really just watching him. He, for a young man, he certainly throws the ball hard.
It's a big situation for him now. Deflating, not seeing runs scored in that last half inning. He's going to come back out and do the work again and try and keep his composure as things continue to go sort of against him.
Look, he pitched himself well out of the last innings. It would have been nice to see some runs come on board for him to support him, but more text coming in from Wellington, Mr. Budge.
Very complimentary of the commentary team, this Mr. Wood. And a couple of the special guests that are standing here with us too.
Yeah, I think it's the other way around, Dale. But I'll take it. Thank you.
Stadler and Wardorf, or whatever it is.
3 runs to nothing. And we've got Branson Matsumoto for the North Shore. So he finds himself down on the count, 0-1. So Yamamoto continuing to lead off in the 3rd inning. As time goes outside, caller's 1-1. He looks a little bit more settled though, Joe Yamamoto. High and fast, ball called.
A few more people starting to shuffle in too, Mark. Reasonable crowd in attendance.
Do say to people, if you are in the Howick, Pakuranga or Auckland region, still plenty of time to go in this game. If you want to see live baseball, you want to see the future stars, future Tuatara players, do get yourself along. Get some swinging, great pitch this time from Joe Yamamoto. Nice little change up, gets that curveball working well.
Certainly see the talent with Yamamoto, don't you, Mark?
Without a doubt. I mean, if this is what he can bring at 14, the future is bright.
Into the dirt, full count. So Branson Masamoto, good at bat for him at the moment.
I think as a country, Dale Budge, we're very lucky at the moment to have very good pitching around this age group, 14 to 19-year-olds.
Yeah, look, the future is bright. There is no question about that. And
this time gets some swinging, ground out, 3rd, foul ball.
You'd like to think with the introduction of the Tuatara and more baseball live on Sky TV and whatnot, that more kids will want to get into the game. You're going to see more of that sort of natural physical talent that we have in New Zealand transition to diamond sports.
Gets plenty underneath that, but it is a high fly ball. Catch taken comfortably in left field. And so 1 up, 1 down. Good start for Joe Yamamoto. Good start for the Pakuranga Hawks.
Great baseball across the board there. Great pitch. Great work with the bat and great work in the field.
Kaiden Maya next to step into the batter's box for North Shore.
One of the baseball families, Kaiden Maya.
He made an error at third base earlier.
Into a batting cage on the North Shore. Still got his grounding there, do a lot of work in the community.
Didn't get the strike. We talked about the consistency from Travis Watson. He's not into that low pitch. This time does get the strike. So you see the contrast there from Watson. That was that slightly higher fastball, just on the inside strike given. The ball previous, fast but a little lower, not given.
That breeze has just picked up a little bit and it's swung around. It's actually more coming from sort of left centre.
Good pitch, doesn't get the call low, but we talked about it. Watson has been consistent. Once again, just a little bit too low. He needs to make the adjustment here.
So that last fly ball sort of hold up in the breeze and certainly swung around more from that direction which that last ball was hit.
He does make the adjustment this time, gets the strike. Good adjustment, good comeback from Yamamoto. Starting to think this through.
I mean, the coaches here are going to start to look for their players to hit it hard and low, keep it out of the air. Put the pressure on the defence on the ground and not in the air.
Which gives the opportunity, presumably, then to the pitcher to expand that zone up a little bit and tempt a player to try.
Now, I'm not sure why Yamamoto again sort of side there when he didn't get the call. We've just been talking about through this entire at-bat. He's got to go higher if he wants to get the strike from Travis Watson. This time, but it should be. Finds the gap, bounces just short of centre field and advances to first base. So, 1 out, runner on first. So, good hit from Kaiden Maya to get himself onto first base. Again, I just wonder whether the wind, as you talked about, Dale, just held that up a little bit.
Yeah,
making it difficult for the outfielders, isn't it, in terms of just setting themselves?
Yeah, held up, and I think probably a little bit off the toe end of the bat. I don't think he got all of that. Just fell in over the infield.
So Jason Greenslade looks just that little nervous. Oh, they pick him off. No. Oh, I'd like to have another look at that.
Big cheer from the HP dugout. They thought it was there in time. I'm not sure from where I sit. I think
they're playing theatre, aren't they? They're just trying to intimidate.
Maya got back there, just. Yep.
Yeah, they're trying to just intimidate, I think, some of these umpires, which is all part of the gamesmanship.
And as we've seen very clearly, Mr. Watson's not up to being intimidated today.
It's good quality umpiring all round. These umpires have been on the national scene for a little while now.
Oh, good pitch from Yamamoto. Now they'll try and pick the runner off at second. They do get him too. Oh no, changes his mind. I think he was going to make the call, and now he says safe. I reckon that we might just see one of the coaches here. I wonder whether we'll just see Salvi come out and have a wee chat here.
I think he's left the ball behind.
I'd say so.
Tag. I think he's
looking at the reaction of Maya. Straight away, didn't seem happy with the call, and then Vukcevic, the second base umpire, has changed his mind.
Just have a look at this. So
as he's entitled to do.
Starts to run.
But he's got no ball. The ball's on the ground. There it is.
The ball is right there. That's right. Well spotted, Mark Irwin.
So Owen won the count. Runner in scoring position. Jason Greenslade at bat. Joe Yamamoto on the mound for Howard Pakuranga. Looks for that fastball on the inside, not given.
Nice throw from wild ball though, wasn't it again?
Beautiful.
Catching has been very sharp today from both sides.
And as a coach, you look for those because you will be jumping out there. We would expect that from Coach Salvi or Coach Wildball.
Yeah, underneath that, and pops that up. And the catch taken. And that is 2 outs. Remains on second base.
The age group brings a bit of disappointment just with the running things out. You don't see a lot of it, you know. Anything can happen with that ball in the air, the wind moving the ball, but just that ability to hustle down that line.
Absolutely.
Well, the good news is for all you North Shore fans, we're back at the top of the order with Sota Watanabe. So back at the top of the order, the table setters.
Interesting there too, Trey Wildball, shortstop calling off the second baseman. It was certainly on the second base side of the plate. So, as any good shortstop would do, in good position and calls him off.
This time Joe Yamamoto didn't quite get the trajectory right in terms of the release point with that pitch. Low. 1-0. So Watanabe. This time, strike is given.
Certainly hearing the HP dugout a little more vocal now than earlier in the game.
Yes, I feel young Joseph, I think, is working on that mound. He's hearing that. He's feeling the team's behind him. And
this time, Watanabe, but it is a foul ball down the third base line. Left field line.
Come onto that with the bat quite late, so that was going foul.
Sort of slap shot.
Yeah.
Laid on it.
Good contest. Watanabe here will just be wanting to soak up as many pitches as he can, just to try and get this guy on the mound to burn a few more matches. Just tap into a bit more of that fast twitch, bring him out of the game as soon as they can. Because at under 19 it comes down to pitching depth, or potentially a lack of depth.
Just a chat between catcher Wildball coming out and having a chat with his pitcher, just making sure they're both on the same page.
Third time through the lineup now too for the hitters, so just a little more familiar with what stuff the pitcher's working with. Got to be a little bit more precise now with plans and how they approach each hitter.
Oh, wild pitch. Runner moves to third. And this changes the options now for the batters.
Good work there by Wildboar again behind the dish.
Keeping it in front at least. Just took a piece of his protective gear, I think, and sort of jumped away from him.
This is a good at bat for Sota Watanabe, soaking up as many pitches as he can. And this time gets plenty on that. Does the wind just carry that? It does, and that just drops short of centre field as well. And suddenly runners on the corner.
Well, you're dropping
in fact,
short
a runner now does make it home, so that score moves to 4 runs to nothing. So a nice little RBI single for Sota Watanabe.
Probably a little up to emotion there in centre field. I mean, it just dropped short, but he'd tracked about 40 to 50 metres to come in on that ball.
Absolutely, he was on his horse and bolting in from centre field. Breeze, we've talked about now, almost hitting directly into that breeze. It's just dying. Anything that's getting to the outfield's dying in front of the outfielders. Might be something strategically for the coaching staff on both sides to think about now. Do you sort of come in an extra 10 or 15 yards just to protect that? We haven't seen a whole lot of pop from either side at this point.
So Taichi Nakao. And that's just too easy, isn't it, for North Shore at the moment.
Just a great jump with Sota Watanabe seeing the ball in the dirt. Good secondary. Nice easy stolen base. Now runner in scoring position.
Again, another wild pitch. 2-0. Real key moment in this game. You sort of sense it if North Shore score here. How much psychological damage does it do to Howard Pakuranga? It's time. And grounds out to third. And that is better play from North Shore. From Howard Pakuranga, and that brings the top of the fourth to the close as we head to the bottom of the fourth. It is North Shore leading Howard Pakuranga by 4 runs to nothing.
Probably the time now. This is the innings where Howard Pakuranga will be looking to get some runners on base and bring some runs in. Both Coach Wildboar, Coach Salvi, be geeing the team up.
Yeah, I wonder what 2.2, you sort of sense that maybe Joe Yamamoto can't be too far away from maybe having his time at the mound call. Do you wait until it falls apart, or do you make the call prior to it falling apart and go, you know what, giving up 4 runs?
Yeah, no, it's a tough one right now. I would certainly have 1 or 2 in the bullpen at this point in time, getting ready to go. I think if Howard can put 2 or 3 runs on the board right now, then he might be worth 1 more if he's got the numbers there. But if they can't put anything down now, I think it might be, as Dale Budge mentioned earlier, we're 3rd time through the lineup now. They're starting to get a handle on the pitcher. So. But then until we know their arm depth, we don't know how long they're having to keep them out there.
The venue is Follett Field, Howard Pakuranga, Lloyd Elsmore Park. If you are wondering where we are here in Auckland, it is the Baseball New Zealand Under-19 tournament. This is the final between 2 Auckland clubs, North Shore City up against Howard Pakuranga Hawks. This is the home ground for the Hawks.
Pitcher on pitcher.
So
just had a very quick chat to Johnny Salvi in that lightning break. He's confident they do have enough pitching. 3 or 4 options out of the bullpen that he can turn to, some fresh arms as well.
We'll ask you the question, do you wait for Yamamoto to fall apart, or do you make the call next inning?
To be honest, it depends how confident he is in what he's got left. I mean, having fresh arms is one thing. The quality of those fresh arms against this powerful North Shore lineup.
Should be a ground out to third. And does he get there? He does get there. So good base running too.
Nice play too from the third baseman. Maya on the run, picked up through, nice throw to first. Not quite in time, but very, very close play.
Again, quality baseball all round.
That is
from
absolutely
the pitch,
quality.
the bat, the fielding, hustle down the line.
Right call from first base umpire as well. It's Kaiden Matsumoto.
And now we've got Hunter Salvi, just his second bat of the day in this final. And looking to bunt. High though, pitch is 1-0.
Young Joseph brings a lot of speed to the game as well. He moves very well. So probably looking to get him across to second and into scoring position as soon as they possibly can.
Ryoma Fuse being brilliant on the mound. Can he continue that momentum? Ground ball. They'll get the out at second, but safe at first. So the damage done.
Nice play again. Maya coming up with the right play. Gets the runner at second. And then decide just to hold up. Southey was quickly down the line. Not worth making the throw.
Young Kaiden Maya certainly paid back with interest. That slight error in the first innings there.
So Jake Wildball comes to the plate. Runner on first. 1 out. They trail by 4. Need to really start to get a rally going. Really need to start to get something going in this inning. Try and get himself back in this game. Try and put North Shore under pressure.
Not a lot of urgency in that pack-up move. Just sort of reminding the batter, the runner, hey, I know you're there.
Not a lot of urgency from the runner to get back, I might add too.
Another left-handed batter. Amazing how many left-handers in the sport of baseball. Not a lot of left-handed pitchers though. Something we were discussing earlier in the bronze medal match that played this morning.
There's a lot more coming through, but not a lot at the higher level there at the moment.
There's such an advantage in baseball if you can have left-handed pitching.
So what is Southey looking to try and steal? And he will stay on first. Understand the arm of Kim Min-chan. Well, Min-chan Kim, he has a bulletproof, he has a bullet arm on him.
There's a big gap between first and second with the fielder keeping the runner on.
Min-chan Kim, we talked about just how good he is.
Wow, he bobbled it. Waited a second, waited for his fielder to get there and then let it rip and still wasn't too far away from
And safe on
making
second.
a play.
So good play here from Southey.
Probably not the best of jumps from young Southey, but again, you see the ball clearly beating the runner on that
absolutely.
occasion.
As I say, Min-chan Kim didn't grab that ball cleanly. He had to go back and juggle it for a second time, and still that throw was right on the money.
So Jake Wildball. Ahead on the count, 2 balls, 1 strike. Ryoma Fuse. Into the dirt. Well taken by Kim, the catcher. Runner in scoring position. How Pakuranga desperate to try and get something going here.
Well, each of the last 3 innings, they've created opportunities, HB, and they're yet to take one. So, fancy they're starting to add up. That starts to weigh on them. Likewise, I feel this is a different ball game if they can get a run or 2 across here.
Walks him. So, Fuse now, just looking a little bit more unsettled. Been very, very good through 3 inning. But of course, this is day 4. 63 pitches, so we're at that threshold now where it starts to become a bit exponential when it comes to fatigue.
I mean, me, myself here personally, I'd be trying to get that runner from second to third as fast as I could. Sort of take away that opportunity.
So, Lasoa. Haven't really seen him really inject himself into this game. He's had limited opportunities. Brother Eli, top of the batting order for the Hawks. Can he be the player that gets and shifts the momentum of this game?
So what, the ground announcer's getting some heat.
Runners on
Getting the names wrong of players.
first
Rightly so too.
and second. He fouls that ball away. And count will go to 1-1.
But it's a team, a family. It's a team of family, Howard. We've got 2 LaSalle boys, we've got 3 Wild Boar.
Yeah, it's always been the way. Johnston's. Mitchell's, Weibers, Campbell's.
Oh, good. Change up curveball, but doesn't get the strike. Great intent, though. Good thinking here from Fuse.
HP looking to get some production out of that bottom part of the order. So is a dangerous hitter. Noah Priest on deck.
Doesn't get the strike, though, from Watson.
Ducks
3
on the
balls,
pond.
1 strike.
Ducks is, on the pond, as they say. Opportunity. This may be the best opportunity of the game so far for HP.
Basically
One away.
Got a free swing here if he wants it.
It does count.
Pressure on Fuse, first time in this match. How does he deal with it?
What's he sitting on?
How key is this pitch, this moment? And he does. He gets the line drive up the left field line. Runner will come home and score. Just the one. They will look to try and run it safe on third and first. So they score 1. Runners safe on first and third.
Geez, I thought the runner was out at third. I have to say, I thought the throw beat him. He held on to
another
it.
look
Be
at
nice
that.
to see that again.
Yeah. Nice piece of hitting. Just muscled the ball left side of the infield through the glove of Maya.
Let's have
And then
a
I
wee
think-
look here. So he comes around. He's certainly well and truly home.
We might not get a view of it because we're obviously focused on the runner scoring. So run scores there for HP.
Let's have a wee look. This will give us a better look at it. Comes across. Throw comes now. Touches the glove boy here. Called him safe. Could have gone either way.
I fancy that might have been out.
Yeah, I don't sort of look at that as a bang-bang play.
Yeah, tough call.
And now Noah Priest. Just the one out. Runners on the corner. Howard can pull 1 run back. Just a young man. Plenty of experience. Loves this club.
See there with North Shore going into their first third defensive, knowing what they were going to do, knowing the runner was going to try and move across.
Yeah. Field is indifference there, isn't it? They basically end up giving him second base. So now a couple of runners in scoring position.
Yeah, what a contest.
One
Cometh
away.
the man for Noah Priest. Just a young man, big heart, a lot of experience, got good baseball nous.
And this is where Priest can be really aggressive here. He's got a base open to him. Only 1 out.
He does, he gets under that, doesn't drop as the catch taken, good catch taken in right field. The runner will look to come home and they will tag him. Good play from North Shore. They'll bring the inning to a close. Howard Pakuranga do score 1, but North Shore City absolutely brilliant. They absorb the pressure. They minimise the damage. They get themselves out of trouble as we head to the top of the 5th.
What a play from right fielder Tiahu Wall. That was a nice piece of hitting. Stayed low, he had to stay with it, made the catch, and then comes up and throws an absolute cannon to get the runner coming to the plate. He did it with ease. Wonderful play from Tiahu Wall.
And just the enthusiasm and the support from the North Shore bench when the team come in, that's really going to lift them for the rest of this game. And it certainly wasn't a close one.
Yeah, and just look at the excitement in the background too. We talk about key moments, key plays, key players. You know, a squad will win you a championship, but sometimes individuals will win you a game. So we always think about that offensively, but some great defensive play there from North Shore.
Oh, absolutely. Gee, off the bat, you thought that was going to drop in, and we're going to be talking about, 1, maybe 2 runs scoring, and this being a completely different ball game. But lovely piece of tracking it down from Wall, not easy with the breeze sort of making the ball fall in front of him.
Interesting.
Got up and brilliant throw.
More still happy how Pakuranga with Joe Yamamoto on their starting pitches, 79 pitches, so he will be starting to just get to that fatigue level.
We do talk about the calmness of North Shore with Dan Tan in the background there. We did see Toshiki Nakao, also another big part of their coaching environment over there, another very calm, controlled individual.
Yeah, another coach really highly thought of, Toshiki Nakao.
So now Bunji Nakao coming up to bat, his 3rd bat of the day. Bunji do? Really?
From our view, I can see Bunji's.
Another left-handed hitter. Joe Yamamoto, 14 years of age. What a talent. Technically a very, very sound pitcher. Gets the strike first up. Only a youngster.
We'll see what impact that had on both teams. That
good curveball. Not comfortable out. 6-3 play.
Lovely footwork there from Wildball to run around that, make the nice throw to first.
Again, I've talked about it all game, just great baseball.
So, sort of talk about momentum swings and whatnot, that could have been so different in the bottom half of that last inning, had that ball dropped in and a couple of runs across the plate. We're talking about a 4-3 ball game and a bit of a rally from HP. Instead, North Shore slammed the door shut, and now they come in with confidence high, and HP having to try and start all over again.
I think young Tiahu Wall can go back and look at the replay during the week and see just how much of a difference that one play has now made.
Yep, certainly the play of the game so far.
Rioma Fuse, the pitcher, batting 4-hole. Key part of this batting lineup for North Shore, trying to extend that lead or certainly maintain that buffer. Yamamoto behind on the count. 2 balls, no strikes. This time, plenty of heat on that, but outside, Travis Watson.
Just missing slightly on that outside edge. Not by much, but as we said, the consistency.
It's been there all game, hasn't changed.
Without a doubt.
So Yamamoto just needs to adjust, needs to come slightly higher. Does come higher this time, and the strike given, so there we are. That is the adjustment. That's what the boys have been talking about. Travis Watson, strike zone.
He might be player of the day so far. He's done an excellent job behind the plate.
This time gets him swinging. Good from Yamamoto. And now the full count.
Young man from Christchurch who started and got his Tuatara, the ABL debut with the Tuatara.
Certainly didn't look out of place at ABL level, that's for sure. Disappointing for fans, disappointing for players, disappointing for umpires. No ABL in these parts this year. Rest assured there's a lot of work being done about what next summer will look like. Looking forward to hopefully being able to share some of that with
and just seeing a number of our
months.
players on loan. Use the word
a few
loan.
Players on loan, a few players stuck in Australia too with the current situation there. So Elliot Johnston, who's still not quite back to full health with the Adelaide Giants, yet to see him in game action. Jimmy Boyce has appeared for the Canberra Cavalry on a couple of occasions, battling a little bit of a niggle as well. And of course, Jared Walker with the Brisbane Bandits.
This is a very good bat from Rioma Fuse, who soaked up a lot of pitches here and gets walked, finds himself on first base, top of the 5th, the 1 out.
Bas Noy too, I probably should have mentioned, playing with the Canberra Cavalry.
Yeah, good guy, Sebastian Noye. What did we call him? The Dutch master when he hit a couple of home runs. Lovely man.
And I can assure you Regan's probably making very sure those guys will be back here for us when everything kicks off again next season.
So we now move on to Tiahu Wall. Need to really get himself into this game in terms of the batting side of it, but real chance here with a runner on first.
So Johnny Salvi make another trip over to the scorer's box just to check on pitch counts and whatnot.
Oh, gets it this time. Ground ball. We'll just see what does happen here. Another error. Boy, that is frustrating for Howard Pakuranga.
Oh, gee, that was a nasty hop on Trey Wildball, to be fair to him. He looked like he was tracking across and got a horrible bounce. Did well to knock it down. All sure now, a couple of runners on. Let's have a look at the replay here. You'll see it in a moment. Just as it gets to Wildball, takes a horrible bounces off the lip there. Oh,
yeah, no, fair to say, I must apologise to him. I said it was an error, and I don't think he could have done much about that. So that is just unfortunate. But it's funny, when you've got momentum, it's amazing how luck goes your way too. And it's very much North Shore at the moment, who seem to be having a little bit of the luck.
Young Tiahu Wall at the forefront of all that luck right now.
Absolutely. As we see a first pitching change of the afternoon. And Yamamoto's day has done. Certainly has not disgraced himself. I think we've seen plenty of that raw talent. He's had a lot of luck go his way, to be fair to him. He's had some pretty quality opposition to work with as well. So Nice job from Yamamoto. Just try and see who's replacing him on the mound.
Masa Shinjo.
Masa Shinjo, there it is, right-hander. So this was one of the players that Salvi told us about. Fresh arm.
Good time to bring him in too. I mean, you just sense this game just starting to get away from Howard Pakuranga. They need to just change it up, do something different.
Well, they can't afford to allow more runs here, that is for certain. They've already got one out.
Just having a look here, it looks like
try and come in, keep the ball in the infield. See if he can get a ground out, double play, get out of the inning. See, there's still not a lot between these two teams. 3 runs is not a huge difference. We keep talking about it. We saw, but for a great piece of play a moment ago, it could have been all levelled up by now. Good quality baseball from both teams. North Shore now, though, a little bit of pressure off, have the ability to sort of blow it out and stack a whole lot of heat on the Howick side.
But having the North Shore batters now adjust to the new pitcher, the new arm, the slot that they're seeing the ball come from.
Similar sort of technique to Yamamoto, doesn't he?
Yeah, it throws a lot of off speed. I've coached against Master. He rolls it out well.
Yeah.
Finds
so maybe
good
that
location.
off speed will be something just for the North Shore hitters to adjust, make them have to adjust. Certainly had the answer so far.
Well, Kim Man Chan will be the batter, and we know how good he is, Min Chan. So Min Chan Kim, I should say. So he is a quality player. So immediately you make the pitching change. But Masa Shinjo, he's got a very good hitter. He's going to come up against him early. And Min Chan Kim, I would imagine, will probably be reasonably comfortable with the change. Quality player, great arm on him. He just looks composed. He just looks the part, doesn't he? The complete player.
Right, so he's gone through his warm-up routine.
Just for those that don't understand, the new pitcher will get 8 warm-up pitches before they go, and at the start of a game, and then at every innings they get 5 for the start of the next innings.
And Harrison Wildboar is the catcher, so different pitcher, requires different level of communication, but Wildboar will have a bit of a read now on this this North Shore batting lineup. Hopefully get a bit of an understanding of what potentially some of their strengths and weaknesses are. So Min Chan Kim.
So we've already seen him have some success at the plate today, Kim.
So Shinjo, first pitch of this final for him. And immediately Min Chan Kim looks to try and go long, but it is just a fly ball comfortably taken in centre field. Now this very good arm coming, looking to try and get the runner at third, and holds him at second.
Geez, that's good play from Tuiamosa in centre field. Track the ball back. Not easy with the ball holding up in the breeze. Gets himself in a great position. The runner had a good jump at second there, but another strong throw, and probably the reputation a little bit there holding the runner at second.
Also just the way he positioned himself, saw the ball from the bat. Positioned himself well, as we see there in the replay, got behind it, already in the movement going forward for the throw. We know he's got a big arm.
So Branson Matsumoto is the next batter. Fast inside hits him, automatically gets a wee trip to first base, not intentional. And suddenly the bases are loaded. Not unexpected, I guess, from Masa Shinjo. Still just trying to find his range a little bit. New to the mound.
He just brushed the shirt. Any damage, but it loads the bases now for Kaiden Maya.
So they go
Pretty good game so far, Kaiden Maya.
So let's go after Maya. He gets on that, and that is a high fly ball. Looking to try and go around and take the catch, but it'll end up in foul territory, and that count will go to 0-1. 3 base runners remain on first, second and third.
You just see the breeze and how strong that is at the moment. It's certainly picked up since we started the game. For a moment, I think first baseman Wildball thought he was in with a chance of getting out of this inning, and ended up drifting well foul. There is a force play at any bag. HP playing regulation depth, knowing they just need an out to get out of it. Big opportunity here for Maya, though.
Doesn't get the strike. He'll be having to figure out pretty quickly what Travis Watson's strike zone is.
I think it's fair to say they didn't quite agree on whether that was a strike or not. Not much in it, but Watson again, as we have said all day.
Quite late. I think it cut quite late. Great pitch, but cut late.
Travis Watson sees ball, this time outside. 2-1 the count. Intriguing contest.
Gee, a tough spot for Shinjo to come in to the game.
Key moment. Big top of the fifth here.
Couple of runners on and, North Shore threatening to blow it open.
Just trying to close this out. Comes back down. Strike call. 2-2 the count. Liking the look here of the new pitcher, Masa Shinjo. Johnny Salvi said they do have depth, and it's clear they do.
Big backdoor curve here, I reckon, to get out of it, maybe.
No, I reckon you just go straight down Broadway, mate. Just throw heat, Dale. Just throw heat.
Yeah, 2-2. You got a pitch to play with.
It's a good battle here. Young Kaiden Maya, hours in the batting cage. His dad Tim had on the shore there for a while. Very capable with the bat.
Looks like he's grown a little bit since I last saw him too. Kaiden Maya.
And Maya looking for an RBI. They do, and he skies that nice and high. And is it into foul territory, or can the catch be taken? The catch is taken, and they do close out that inning. So Howard Pakuranga get themselves out of a little bit of trouble. Masa Shinjo doing a very good job coming in as the first pitching change of the day. And it is just 4-1. So they're hanging in there, Howard Pakuranga. Things not necessarily going their way, but they're hanging tough.
Looking a great final play there by catcher Harrison Wildball to close that out. I mean, that was up, it was hard, it was tough, it was against the wall.
Oh, you got the breeze as a factor there, bringing the ball back. You got the wall, edge of the wall, and you had to run sort of almost through the on-deck circle, which has been worn away over the last few days. There's a bit of a sort of hollow in the playing facility there, so not quite flat ground. Nice job from Wildball to make that play. And as regulation, but probably not regulation in the scheme of things.
And as we saw after the last North Shore play to get out of the innings, just the excitement from the bullpen and the teammates, just the enthusiasm, the lift.
Look at them there, you can see them there on the replay on the screen. Players in the dugout clapping their hands and that little bit of urgency into their play now.
Certainly Coach Dan Tan showing real confidence in Ryoma Fuse. Now seeing these, batters having seen him 3 or 4 times nearly, so again it'd be interesting to understand the depth that North Shore have.
So Eli Lasore will lead things off at the top, in fact the bottom of the 5th, for Howard Pakuranga, who trail by 3 runs. But Ryoma Fuse still at the mound. Fatigue levels, where are they at? Does he start to begin to throw a little bit more from the shoulder? And if so, does that open that opportunity? Four runs to 1. They trail. Lasoa looks at that first pitch into the dirt. 1-0 the count, 1 ball, no strikes. That change up that curveball just on the inside and high. So 1-1 the count.
Just had a quick word to Daniel Tan, the coach of the North Shore City side. So he's got 4 or 5 arms available to him out of their bullpen. The key, I think, probably Taichi Nakao.
Oh, he gets on that this time. Nice little line drive up through centre field. Runner on base. So good lead off from Eli Lasoa. And that is what Howard Pakuranga desperately need. There's some early momentum in the bottom of the 5th. So runner on base, no outs. top of the batting order. Game on.
And just with their power hitters now starting to feel, I think Howick Pakuranga could feel if they could put 2 or 3 runs on in this innings, they're right back in this game.
Yeah, and this might be their opportunity too when you look at what's to come. You know, Amosa, we've already seen him do some damage today. The 2 wild balls have been impressive throughout the tournament.
Look at him. Boy, just composed, isn't it? He just looks the part.
Third look at Fuse for them. As I was saying, Dantan has some arms available to him out of the bullpen. I think the key ones will be Taichi Nakao and perhaps Shyla Fruin as well, fresh arm.
Now needs to keep an eye on Lasoa, who will be looking to try and steal second. And if anything, to start to put a little bit more mental pressure on the pitcher, Ryoma Fuse, just giving him a little bit more to think about.
I mean, Eli is a very talented base runner, but again, we have a very good arm behind the dish for North Shore and Min Chung Kim.
So, this time, foul ball. Count will go to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. First 2 foul balls go down as strikes. After that, they're just pretty much soaking up pitches and just forcing the pitcher to throw more strikes or more pitches.
Big long levers, doesn't he, Tui Amosa?
Calls it a strike, so 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Choke up a little bit on the bat now and try and...
We're just painting the outside corner of the plate there.
I probably wouldn't want to be staying too far outside with arms and shoulders like Tui. Try and tuck him up a bit.
Is this the shift in this game? Is this Howick Pakaranga's moment? As we look at that into the dirt, the runner will advance to second. So suddenly a runner in scoring position, no outs. And Tui Amosa, followed then by Trey Wildboar, Harrison Wildboar. So plenty of batting to come for Howick Pakuranga.
Yeah, the heart of the order to come. Fancy Wildboar will fancy himself in this situation. Trey, that is, who's in the on-deck circle.
Very relaxed hitter.
Love a couple of runners on board for him with no outs.
Tui Amosa.
Free licence to swing.
The outside this time, up through the middle of the park. Runner will advance certainly to third. Will they look to bring him home? They won't, but runners now on the corner, first and third, no outs. Momentum shift.
Beautiful piece of hitting from Amosa. Right back up the middle. Nice contact, choked up as we talked about it. Put the ball in play. And now HP start to threaten. Runners on the corners, no outs. Dangerous part of their order.
Let's test the defensive measure now of the North Shore team right now. No outs, runners on the corners.
The breeze has just dropped off. Sun is absolutely beating down here at Follett Field.
And we also know too here that Ryoma Fuse coming up to about their 80 pitch count, so fatigue will be starting to kick in. Trey Wildboar, he is just so composed. Another big man. Got plenty of power. Just a coiled spring waiting to explode. Has a look at that first pitch. But good here once again from Kim, the catcher. They won't look to run on his arm.
And that's the advantage of having an athlete like Tui Amosa on first base. In that situation, you'll get him across pretty much first pitch.
I'm sure happy to concede the runner there. Now he's got 2 runners in scoring position. And we're just going to see them have a little chat, are they? Looking to the dugout.
I think they're looking to play the infield in here with runners on second and third. Sort of bringing his corners in a wee bit. Looking to try and save the run early.
Give some options for Wildboar as well. Hit something hard here and
So
bang it through.
That pitch count up
Could
to
be looking at a 4-3 score very quickly.
That pitch count up to 79, so fatigue starting to kick in. Key moment in the game, no outs. Runners second and third.
Is this the right call for them to play in, do you think, Mark?
In this situation right now, I probably wouldn't have.
Just with that advantage, the 3-run advantage.
Yeah, 3-run advantage, I'd normally probably go on the loaded basis scenario. No outs, then look to move. Right now, I don't think it's needed with the guns I've got coming up.
Interesting play.
Wildboar finds himself ahead on the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Hughes gets bat on ball, goes to the infield. They look to come home. They tag the runner. And he is out, but they'll still have runners on first, second and third.
Well, it was a good call, the right call from Coach Dan Tan.
And we know he does things
runner
for all the right reasons, right?
Yeah, now they go back to regulation depth, I think.
Probably, though, on the runner's perspective, you had time and the ability to see it through without having to take off.
So Harrison Wildbor comes in with runners on first and third, or runners on the corner. Tell you what, North Shore getting out of this one, but only just at the moment. Now, Pakuranga, they really need to capitalise on the advantages they've got at the moment. Need to score another run here, heading to the top of the sixth.
There's probably no need to send that runner initially.
Umpire
Another free pass there for HP. Wildbor takes second on the fielder's indifference.
So just get you to explain this, Dale Budge.
So it's not a stolen base if the opposition are happy to concede it and don't bother to try and stop.
Salvi's an old head. He's a wily fox.
So it's not a stolen base or a base. Wildbor's been told to go back to first.
I think they said
Trying to understand what's happening here.
I think I heard the call umpire interference through the headphones. So I'm not sure what that relates to, Dale, and if you can explain that. But umpire interference was the call I heard.
A little bit at a loss of words to try and figure that out myself, mate. Any idea?
No, it's a new one on me. I'm interested to see what they're actually talking about. But you did right as far as the conceding in that situation, but right here I'm not sure.
Well, either way, Trey Wildbor has gone back to first base.
And Harrison Wildbor still at the plate.
So not a stolen base, not advancing on the fielder's indifference.
Min Chang Kim moving out to the field as catcher and putting his first and third defence to his infield.
See what the count is. Trevor Spott's going to give us a count. One strike. I have no idea.
To try and pick him off at first. Safe though. Good pressure being applied.
I mean, could it be the umpire wasn't ready or didn't see the pitch, or?
It's the only thing I can think of. It'd be interesting to get a final call on that.
It's basically like that last play never existed.
So Trey Wildbor just creating the distraction there in terms of trying to steal second, trying to get that jump. Harrison Wildbor looking to try and drive the run in. He does go this time, and now they look to try and pick him at second. But not a great throw, and you'll comfortably go through and take second base.
Don't think they were looking for an out at second there. I think they were looking for the runner at third to advance.
I think the way the ball was taken.
Yeah, they were playing for the runner coming home, who never eventuated. So the idea there, the catcher's throwing that for the second baseman to send it back to the catcher to get the runner advancing from third.
So all the subtleties of baseball so much greater than the sum of its parts. Great to have our experts, Dale Budge, sitting alongside of us.
Now we do have a couple of runners in scoring position here for Wildbor.
High. Just a fly ball into foul territory. No, but the catch should be taken. Oh, in fact, he puts it down. So what did the umpires rule here? Runner will come home and score. And so suddenly that score now moves to 4 runs to 2. In fact, another time, what we're going to see here. So let's just hold our horses. Let's just see what they're going to say.
I think what will happen here is the ball has actually gone under the fence. So I think we might say that this is it can't be a ground rule double, can it?
No, what could happen here? I think they're calling for the foul ball, but I think the fielder has attempted to catch the ball while in the field of play, which has made the ball live. And
Yep, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
So therefore that is a ground rule double, is it not? The ball's gone under the fence, he's had to reach under to get it. Everyone gets 2 bags? which...
Some intriguing stuff. I hope you're enjoying the coverage on that. Two fine gentlemen here just explaining some of the subtleties of baseball, because you don't often see this, but we've seen it all in this under-19 national final.
Looking at this closely, how close was it?
So Mark Irwin to my right, Dale Budge to my left.
His foot might have been over the foul line. I mean, the umpires don't have the advantage of the video replay that we do.
To me, in our mind here, a foul ball.
Yep. And the ground rule double is irrelevant because everyone got 2 bags anyway, so... Run scores for HP, 4-2 now the score. Trey White got to 3rd anyway, so it didn't matter.
Sure, the coaches will have a chat about it when they see the replay.
And we might be...
Oh, great theatre. It's good for the sport of baseball. Everyone loves a little bit of drama. Everyone's a little bit of a train wreck. That's the emotion. So much it grabs national honours.
They have just scored a run. They are back in this game, HP. I don't know, they've called it a foul. So they haven't scored the run. They have actually called that a foul ball. No runner scored. Hang on, I'm extremely confused. We've had another pitch thrown.
Well, I think everybody's confused at the moment. We might just see if we can get this resolved at the moment. Like I say, these are things we don't often see in baseball, so...
Did Trey Wildball not start at first base too when all that happened?
Well, Harrison Wildball was the batter previously. He's still there, so I'd say foul ball's been called.
No run.
So no run, so
no
the
runs.
score is 4-1, and the count is now 1-2. And I tell you what, this place has come alive. There's a lot of niggle now. There's a lot of energy here at Follett Field. And he throws it, he swings it, and he strikes him out. Well, out Pakuranga thought they had a little bit of a momentum swing. It hasn't gone their way. North Shore have been riding their luck throughout this game. They're getting away with it at the moment.
I have to say, I think the right call has been made. Ultimately, the right call was made, but...
Well, clearly we had that view.
We had the benefit of the slow replays we've seen here, thanks to the Stream Shop team.
Well, Rio Matthews just happy. He's calm, he's composed.
But clearly Coach Hayden Wildball's passion coming through there, supporting his boys.
Now we understand the frustration.
This time, it should be a comfortable out. Nice
wow.
4-3 play.
Massive moment in the game, it has to be said.
4-1, top of the 6th, Dale Budge.
Yeah, HP, not surprisingly, a little frustrated at proceedings at the moment. They felt they were right back in the game there, threatening, and what looked like a run scored and a rally building behind them turns into North Shore once again slamming the door closed. Look, you've got to tip your hat to what North Shore have done. Every time they have threatened, North Shore have slammed the door closed. So.
Just some stunning plays, stunning baseball across the board.
So we head to the top of the 6th, and it will be again Masa Shinjo, the second pitcher used from Howard Pakuranga, who will be back on the mound up against this very good batting lineup for North Shore.
Yeah, getting later in the game now, sort of sit back and wonder.
Onto the final stretch, aren't we?
You know, if North Shore put a couple more runs on the board here now, what will it do mentally to HP, to the players?
Well, I still believe, though, sport is very much around momentum and momentum swings, and we haven't seen a lot go in favour of Outbacker. You sense it's coming, though, don't you? So don't go away anywhere, folks, because I think there's a few more little chapters to be written in what is really becoming a bit of a bestseller. Plenty of controversy, but not controversy. More just we've seen some freak things happen. We've seen some things that don't usually happen in baseball, which has led to a little bit of confusion. But both sides have taken their time, their umpires have taken their time, and they have resolved it.
And I think too, you know, the coaches now need to take the emotion back a bit, let the players see that everything's all good to go, keep them in that nice frame of mind and get them back out there to play some good ball. But in the mindset knowing their coaches are there to support them and back them up.
So Masa Shinjo, he'll have his customary 5-pitch warm-up between innings as Mark Irwin said earlier, if you have just joined us, when a pitcher does come to the mound, they get 8 sort of customary pitches, or up to 8, and then between innings, 5 when they come back out, and that's just to get that warm-up going.
And they don't have to take those, and also the umpire can remove them based on the time. Jason Greenslade up to bat for North Shore.
So playing in centre field, Jason Greenslade for North Shore, and looks to bunt. Foul ball away, pick up the strike, 0-1 the count. Hope you are enjoying live coverage. It's United Airlines Baseball New Zealand Under-19 final between the two Auckland clubs, the might of Howick Pakuranga Hawks, who are in the field at the moment, and North Shore City, the two-time defending champions. So, Masa Shinjo. Again, twice, this time strike given by Travis Watson. Count will go to 0-2. So Greenslade finds himself behind on the count.
Just had a chance to review that controversial play from the last inning, and I think we have to acknowledge the umpires got it spot on. We've seen the replay up close. Decision making. The only mistake perhaps was that pitch was made, that the subsequent pitch was made with Tuiamosa, the base runner, standing in the dugout. So other than that, I think the umpiring has been pretty well spot on all afternoon.
100%.
So Greenslade, foul ball away, 0-2. It does soak up another pitch from Masa Shinjo. He's looked actually pretty settled since he's come to the mound. Doesn't seem to maybe bring the variety that we've seen from other pitchers. It's a good pitch. A nice little ground ball. Good play here. And the runner safe at first. In fact, he'll advance to second off the back of a fumble at first base. Will they get him? They don't get him. And so, Jason Greenslade. We talk about luck. We talk about momentum. It's all the way of North Shore at the moment.
Well, we talked about it in the pre-game, didn't we? About doing the basics right. North Shore continued to do that pretty well, spot on.
Jason Greenslade, the hustle down the line, the look, if the mistake was there, he was good to go. Turned, went hard.
We've forced Wallboard to really stretch to make that play. Had to hurry, didn't have time up his sleeve, and throw not quite where he would want it to be.
So top of the 6th, no outs, runner in scoring position. It is North Shore leading 4-1, 9-inning game.
Young Soto Watanabe up to bat for North Shore.
And again, good news for North
Shore. Runner now in scoring position, no outs.
Absolutely, and top of the batting lineup again for North Shore, so it doesn't get any easier for Masa Shinjo on the mound.
Well, they can play some small ball here now, can't they, North Shore, and try and bunt or advance the runner to the third, manufacture a runner here, just keep chipping away
and
at the
lead. They do bunt, so they're listening to your Dale Budge, but they might get the runner here. This should be... Trying to pick up what has happened.
HP certainly not feeling like they're getting the rub of the green.
So
but
foul ball, was it?
Certainly called foul. Travis Watson very clear.
Quickly, very quick, very clear. Wouldn't mind seeing that in the replay where that ball bounced.
Yeah, certainly opportunity to throw the runner out at third, but the foul ball called, and therefore that took that option out of play. And so Harrison Wildbore, he would have seen it as catcher. This time outside, strike given by Watson. Good pitch.
Yeah, I think that was just frustration from Wildball more so than really disagreeing with the decision. 50-50 calls just not going HP's way. It's sport at times. Ride it out. Wait for them to start coming back your way. Certainly no freebies.
A wild pitch from Masa Shinjo. So he just needs to settle down as well too. Not let the luck that hasn't gone their way get on top of him.
He's done a nice job coming in. Difficult situation last inning. Got himself out of that. Kept this team in the game. Some more work to do now with a runner in scoring position and no outs.
Ball call. So we've got Jason Greenslade on second.
Good wheels.
Sota Watanabe, the lead-off hitter, at the plate. And the replacement pitcher, Masa Shinjo, on the mound. North Shore leading 4 runs to 1.
Very dangerous Taichi Nakao on deck as well.
And they've now runners on first and second.
So this man has done a good job today. I haven't really seen him with highlight reel plays as yet.
So Taichi Nakao. Right-handed hitter. And looks for a big hit, and that will travel down foul ball territory. I think he was hoping that it might just sneak in down that right field line.
Again, indication of that breeze. Looked pretty good off the bat. Even with that natural shape right-handed hitter. Breeze taking that well foul.
And the tendency also in the under-19 grade here using wooden bats, allowing that movement in the air.
Inside, ball called. 1-1 the count.
Little hat tip to the North Shore Club too. See a lot of support for them in the crowd. Hear it probably coming through the effects microphone and whatnot. Words of encouragement. Having to travel across from the North Shore. Fair hike these days in Auckland City with the traffic even on a weekend, long weekend.
This time straight down Broadway, strike called, 1 and 2 the count. So Green Slade runner on second base, and then Soto Watanabe is the runner on first base. Taichi Nakao batting, and his brother Bunji on deck. Get him swinging. Foul ball, is it?
Did enough to stay alive.
Just managed to get a slight bit of bat on that.
Crowd gone quiet because they do just sense that there is more to come in this game. You still just feel if how Pakuranga can just get out of this. At some point that luck, that momentum does have to swing. Masa Shinjo gets him swinging, gets the strike out. Good comeback from the replacement pitcher. Runners remaining on first and second.
It's a big scalp.
Now Bunji Nakao. So it doesn't get any easier though. Still the heart of the batting lineup.
Just a little foul tip on that. Wild board held onto it behind the plate. 1 away.
Ball called from Watson, the home plate umpire. Boy, the place is absolutely quiet. Key moment in this game. You sense if North Shore score again, psychological damage to Howard Pakuranga with 3 at-bats remaining or 3 innings remaining might just be too much.
Or just something building, you know, with runners on. Strong part of the order. Ill afford to put up crooked numbers again. Howard, they cannot concede more crooked numbers to North Shore, so love a double play here. Corners are in.
Shinjo this time does get the strike. Travis Watson, 2 balls, 1 strike. Good communication between himself and Harrison Wildboar, the catcher. Outside, 3 and 1.
Wildboar trying to frame it, but it was always off the outer edge of the plate.
big moment in the game. Can he throw the strike? He gets plenty on that. Fly ball, does it drop short? Catch is taken, good catch too. Can they get the double play? Outstanding piece of fielding.
Just get the one. Runner didn't go. Held up. Went back because of the diving play by right fielder.
Could
Noah
bring up
Priest, I think, out there at right field, isn't he?
Noah Priest, yeah. Outstanding catch from Priest. Just have another look at this again, because it is that wind that's playing havoc. You think the ball's just going to carry a little bit more than just dipping, just dropping.
Gee, that's a big play in the scheme of things. That falls in. You got bases loaded at best.
Oh, wild pitch. It's Rio Matthews, the pitcher, is at the mound. Foul ball away, 1-1 the count. So do they just go at him here? Clearly can bat though, batting 4 on the lineup. Masa Shinjo forces another foul ball, count 1 and 2, so Shinjo now ahead on the count.
Some quality battles here throughout the game.
Intriguing battles indeed. Boy, just psychological warfare, isn't it? Two pitchers going at each other. It's high. And the count now goes to 2 and 2. So good to see Rio Matthews. He doesn't really buy into it. Very composed. Happy to just have a wee look at that one. Seems that Shinjo might just bring a little bit of heat here. And does he go straight down, cramps him up, foul ball. Count remains 2 and 2.
Good at bat here too, isn't it? Matthews fighting off a couple of foul balls. All the pressure on HP, isn't it?
Oh, and today just seeing the quality of bats by both teams throughout all 6 innings so far. Just some real quality batting, some quality at bats and battles, the pitcher batter.
This championship been run since 2014, and year on year the standard raises each year.
How big is this pitch and these next couple of pitches in the context of this game? High fly ball into the sun though, the wind, but the catch is comfortably taken. Brilliant from Eli Lasoa.
Tuiamosa, lovely work in the outfield, made good ground to his left. Looking up, sun there, the breeze a factor, makes a good play. And again, HP get out of it. Stays 4-1 ball game.
Yeah, HP shutting the door there on North Shore. Now what can they bring with the bat, bring themselves back into this game?
Well, that's it. We have talked about momentum. We haven't seen that shift yet, but you know, you often hear the All Black coaches talk when you dominate the half. You know at some point the other side is going to come back into the contest. They are going to come back into the game. And is that what we're going to see with Howard Pakuranga?
Well, look, they've certainly got the talent and the players to do so.
Well, at some point too, how long can Rio Matthews go in terms of on the mound? We're into 7 innings now. We don't know how much depth they've got. He's been brilliant, but we are starting to get towards that pitch count, aren't we, in terms of where they're going to have to pull him?
There we go. I believe that now might be Tai Chi Macau. Out
I think that is Tai Chi, isn't it?
On the bump. I think they've brought in Tai Chi. Very accomplished player, especially on the mound. Pitched a 7 innings shutout against Guam and China a couple of years ago for the senior league team. So certainly no mug up there on the mound.
So he will have 8 pitches just to warm up. And so that's a good call, and I do like that. They haven't waited for Fuse to fall apart. They've preempted it, saying, look, we don't think it's too far away. Why have the bases loaded up and us in a hole? Let's make that change now.
Oh, what a job by Fuse too.
Yeah,
I mean,
brilliant.
that is a very, very impressive performance. Big game, lot riding on it, long tournament, and he's delivered a very, very good quality start today.
And the thing is, the field's been behind him the whole way.
Yeah.
And nobody going anywhere because they do sense that this game is still well and truly hanging in the balance, even though it is a 3-run advantage to North Shore, the 2-time defending champions.
What you'll find Taichi Nakao brings, he does bring a bit of lights-out pace as well. He does have a wee bit more of that velocity than we saw with Rome Fuse.
I want to ask you that. You know, we talk about that lights-out pace, but is there a fear factor at this level in terms of pace? I mean, do the hitters get up there, these young guys who are 14, 15, are they frightened? Are they scared?
No, I don't think they are, but what it means is they know that if they don't get that timing right, this guy's got the power and the pace to blow it past.
You do see it a lot in cricket, don't you? 14-year-olds always talk about, that fast bowler's playing today, and you can sort of see they're already psyched out before they get out there. I guess the difference here, probably less of a chance of getting hit by a ball in baseball.
We do have that. You do get your guys to go, man,
Absolutely.
he's quick. Man, he's quick. But again, it's just being able to, as a coach and the rest of the team, settle them down.
So, pop-up ball, and it goes into, in fact, taken comfortably at first base. So, 1 up, 1 down.
And this is what the change in velocity could do immediately for the batters if they don't adjust. We saw Fuse throw a lot of off-speed stuff very late in his time on the mound.
Yeah, I think Hunter Salvi will be a little bit disappointed with that at-bat.
Jacob Wild bought a bat now for HP. Again, another very young player with a solid future.
He's got to believe himself. He's got to put his young age out of his mind and say, I'm good enough to be here. I want to contribute. I want to be the hero. I want this to be the greatest moment in my baseball career up to this point.
Well, this young man certainly has that ability. Very calm, very relaxed young man.
Wild ball, looking to just get himself on base if he can. Has a big swing at that one though. Mind you, it was a bit of a free swing when the count was 2-0. This time, but down the left field line into foul territory.
Off the toe end of the bat again.
So 2-2 now the count. So Taichi Nakao, the new pitcher.
Again, we see that breeze pick up again, blowing into the face of the hitter.
Again, we see Travis Wilson there, very consistent, very strong with that tight zone. He's kept in contact and play all day today.
Talk about that velocity again, similar pitch, in fact almost a repeat pitch, and again the consistency as you talked about. Didn't waver at all. Ball, no, that was the replica of the previous pitch. Slightly different type of pitch, but the zone was exactly the same there for a ball. Great consistency.
And being new in this innings, Taichi's probably tried to see if he can get him to sway.
Now, real chance here for Wild Border. Try and sneak himself along to second. As we see Gabe Lasua.
Not sure Wild Boar is the most aggressive on the base paths, is he? Probably not much of a threat to run.
Yeah, probably waiting for the wild pitch. Oh, good pitch. Doesn't get given the strike. Which is certainly showing his range in terms of his pitching. Taichi Nakao.
Certainly a nice pitch, just breaking too low before it crossed the plate.
This time, throw some heat. We talked about his ability to throw with velocity. That was an example of it. He just didn't quite get the height right. And he finds himself behind on the count, so Hout Pakaranga.
Even so, he's going to make hitters adjust to him because of that change in velocity, that extra few kilometres per hour.
And just the difference from what we saw with Fuse with the pick-off move, just that aggression there from Nakao to say, no, I'm here.
Yeah, go straight down Broadway on that occasion. So 2-1 the count. Real chance here for Hout Pakaranga. He gets plenty on that, but foul ball away. Can the catch be taken or go into foul territory? So 2-2 now the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Gabe Lasar.
against
balls,
Taichi
I think.
Nikau.
He wants 3 balls, excuse me.
Oh, almost picked him off.
A good throw there. Things could have been a lot different.
Time called. Good pitch. And strikes him out. And suddenly 2 outs. Runner on first. North Shore getting the job done.
Fantastic deception with that curveball there on Lasoa. Just drawing that swing.
Masa Shinjo. Noah Priest was batting 9 hole, but Shinjo is batting now 9. There's a big swing at a very good high fastball. 1-1 the count. As we look at that. Runner moves to second. Now in scoring position. 2 balls, 1 strike. Pakuranga won't care how they get it done. They just want to try and get it done. Just etch out another run if they can. This time, low. So 3-1 now the count. Free swing here really if he wants it. For Masa Shinjo. Shinjo has a look at it and he'll take the walk, will he? So suddenly runners on first and second, but 2 outs.
Still not a lot of aggression. We talked about earlier, Dale Budge.
Top of the order now for Eli Lasoa.
Still not the aggression there that we sort of were expecting, getting late in the game.
Yeah, I mean, look, at HB have to make it happen for themselves now. It's not a case of sitting there waiting and preying on the mistakes. And see, they've got the work to do. I'm sure we've got 4 runs. Opportunity here. A couple of runners aboard now. Top of the order again. Dangerous hitter, Eli Lasoa.
Can he be the hero that ties things up? Has the ability. Shows plenty of patience, plenty of composure. Finds himself now ahead on the count. 1-0. Eli Lasoa, he launches that one, it goes long, it is down the left field line into foul territory. Unlucky, again, did that wind just carry that? He got sort of plenty on it.
Yeah, good piece of hitting. Just out in front a little bit, dragging it into foul territory down the left field line. A couple of these guys, both of them pitcher and hitter at the moment, likely to feature for the senior men's nationals for both clubs. Coming up, the United Airlines Senior Men's National Club Championships in April. Counties will have a team, Mark Irwin. A couple of 2 or 3, maybe 4 of your under-19 players making the step up and playing the senior men's grade.
Yep, certainly will be there.
A couple of very talented young players out of the county's Manukau region. Mark's son Taylor, very much on the radar, promising right-handed pitcher. You sort of forget that he's still as young as he is.
Get some swinging. Well, I'm just wondering who's going to be DH and pinch hitter for Counties Manukau, because rumour is Dale Budge making a comeback.
Starting pitcher too, I think, Mark, maybe.
Looking forward to calling that if he finds himself on television.
Yeah, there's no way they'd put that on TV. I can give you
They tell me that he doesn't have a great throwing arm anymore, but that's not his job.
No, I struggle to throw the rubbish out, to be honest.
So, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Another key moment in this game. As a wee look at it, foul ball.
Good battle here with Lasoa. These talented young kids.
He does not want, though.
Next generation of New Zealand baseball.
Maybe if you're not into baseball and this is the first time you've seen this and you think this is a bit slow and boring, you don't. This is really quality at bat.
Well, it's safe.
Really quality.
It's a bit like coming from a cricket background, isn't it? That sort of that spinner up against that batter, and you've got that, you've got the pressure being put on at one end. This is all about, it's a psychological warfare. It is. He gets another foul ball away, so good at bat and catch taken, I think, from the first baseman down that right field line, and that will bring the inning to a close. We didn't quite get that, but off that foul ball, clearly a very good catch taken. I think at first base, let's just have a wee look here. And that will bring that inning to a close. Goes down, yep, very good catch indeed. So that does bring the inning to a close. We'll head to the top of the seventh, and it is very much North Shore continuing to lead this under-19 final, 4 runs to 1. We are on the home stretch.
Yeah, no, great catch to see the innings through, and now, another chance lost there by Howick Pakuranga to put themselves back on the board.
I wouldn't say time is running out. 3 inning lot can happen.
I guess we should be remiss not to ask the question, Mark Irwin, baseball traditionalist. A lot of discussion, international level, ABL, about 9 innings versus 7 innings. Broadcast standpoint, how well 7 innings works, particularly under lights at night. You're a baseball purist, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I'm completely the 9 innings guy there, Dale. I certainly am. I get why they do what they do, especially for television and that sort of thing, but it's the game is a game.
Yeah, look, I'm going to come with a slightly different angle. I think if you grow up with the game and it's a sport that it's your national sport or it's your summer sport like it is in Japan and Korea and America, and you've grown up with it and it's your pastime, I can understand 9 innings. But if you're trying to grow a sport, rugby, you think, hey, how do we grow up? Well, we'll play 7s. Cricket, I think they've had more success in terms of growing numbers by shortening it up, making it more exciting. And for somebody who's new to baseball coming in, 7 does appeal to me. Now, as I maybe gain a more and more appreciation of it and a greater understanding of the sport, then perhaps I do start to see the need for 9. But I think in terms of trying to build your audience outside of the pure baseball aficionado, it is a good discussion.
And certainly, as Dale pointed out, I'm the baseball purist. I just love the 9 innings. But somebody coming into the game and seeing something like this where we're just seeing what we would call quality at bats, and someone might find that a bit slow and not to their liking. So,
as a player, I certainly enjoyed the 9-inning contest. So we see Tiahu will lift one up here into foul territory.
Does that go into foul territory, or is that catch taken? And it is over just to the right of us.
As I've transitioned into an off-field role with the Tuatara, I think I sort of understand the broadcast needs, the sponsor interest, and the fan experience. Being able to come watching a game starting at 7 o'clock and being home by 9:30.
I must admit, when we were starting to get towards the top of the 7 and the Tuatara down by 1, I wished it was 9.
We thought about trying to change the rules midway
halfway through, going, okay, guys, we're going to roll the dice. We're going to go to 9. Tuatara leading by 1. We'll go to 7.
Certainly something that we're seeing a shift with baseball around the world, more of a trend to see 7 inning, and this is going to test the depth of the bullpens in both clubs. It'd be interesting to see whether it has much of an impact on the outcome of the game here. North Shore in control, but
well, a lot of games are now shortening up. We just look at our other diamond sport, our other cousin there, and softball code going to fast 45 and 45-minute games, and it's really heightened people's attitude towards the game. So,
Tiahu Wall this time, ground ball down the left field line, but into foul territory. He'll have to come back and have another swing.
He's had a ball game today, hasn't he, Tiahu Wall?
This young man, he's been in the thick of things, and they've all been on the positive side of that ledger.
Yeah, I still think, a good game of baseball, it's not dissimilar to a good test game of cricket, is it? I mean, test cricket, let's be honest, doesn't always flow that nicely at the moment. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of pressure building at one end. You're waiting for that mistake. You're waiting for that opportunity. And sometimes it can be, it's one of those sports you have on the background, go and mow the lawns, come back, have a wee check-up.
Oh, look, I think people that watched the Tuatara season last year will remember the Josh Colmenter, the complete game that powered Tuatara into the finals for the first time. I mean, it wasn't all offence, it was the subtleties, good quality. We've seen a really good quality game of baseball here. There haven't been a whole lot of errors.
The Chris Richards catch in right field, and Chris is here today.
Yeah, we don't need to remind
Made the top 10 on the ESPN Plays of the Week in front of the...
He nominated himself.
What did they describe it as? The play school looking fence at North Harbour Stadium. Here we go, another foul ball away. Good at bat here, soaking up a lot of pitches, so this is good at bat.
He's just got wild ball too.
And I'm sure if you never saw that, just ask Chris. I'm sure he'll help you through that.
He is a bizarre player, Chris Richards.
And then the walk-off home run from Kim. That was another highlight. That was a big moment in the game, wasn't it? Was it against Canberra?
I think it was, against Canberra.
Just before Christmas, wasn't it? Or just after Christmas, the walk-off home run. They were down 4-1 at one point. They came back and won.
Just remember your call, Mark.
I'm actually embarrassed by that. I think I broke every broadcasting convention that one.
No such thing.
Daniel Richardson, who's running this production, just looks at me and goes, "Yeah, mate, you did." Yeah. I don't think I slept after that. I think the adrenaline was still flowing. It was one of those sort of key moments in the Tuatara history, I think.
So here we go, Wall out. Wild ball's recovered.
Oh, that's got him swinging. So that is good from Masa Shinjo.
Geez, he's done a good job since taking over on the mound, hasn't he?
He's been very good. Shinjo. Yeah, this is big now. They've really just got to keep North Shore scoreless.
I mean, as you speaking to both coaches, they'll both saying they had fresh arms, and they've both shown so far, both teams, they certainly have fresh arms.
I think the real question will be what each club has behind what we're seeing on the mound now. I think both of them were confident they had one good reliever. And then after that, you're kind of mixing and matching with, workload and, rest and how players are feeling on the day, and that might not be that much left in the tank.
Min-Chan Kim, a catcher, quality player at the plate, on deck. Got Branson Matsumoto batting next. Check the swing. No, they don't. No, 2 balls, no strikes. And you always wonder whether you walk this guy and just move on. Here's a danger. Foul ball, picks up the strike. So 2-1 the count.
Yeah, I'm not sure about walking him, but certainly not giving him a whole lot to swing the bat at.
No, he's making him work very hard as a batter.
Yeah. If he's going to beat you, make him really work to do it. HP really want to avoid base runners, I think, at this point in the game.
Got him swinging this time, 2-2 the count. Great pitch from Masa Shinjo. You said he's just starting to settle in. Nervous system's up.
I've said all game 3 runs is not an insurmountable mountain to climb, but when you start to leave it to the last couple of innings, it does become a little more insurmountable. That pressure starts to become a factor.
Certainly that wasn't a swing for contact. That was looking for yard all the way.
This time gets him swinging. So, second out. This is good here from Howick.
Really aggressive swings from North Shore right now. They're looking to punch more runs onto the board.
Tell you what, you were saying yesterday there was a walk-off between these two teams.
Yeah, from Ryoma Fuse.
And it went in favour of North Shore. Well, who's to say that Howick Pakuranga can't do the walk-off in this game?
Oh no, Howick Pakuranga actually took the win in the game yesterday.
Oh, they did.
The Grand Slam kept North Shore in the game, took away the mercy. That's why Howick have gone as home team for this final. They took that contest out yesterday.
So Masamoto, batter up on deck. Masa Shinjo, the pitcher for Howick Pakuranga. And again, wayward pitch.
Oh, that was a wild one.
And get away with that. No real run, no runners on base, so
I think you'd like to look at that one, Mark. Thought you were about to take a hack at it.
Yeah. It's right behind the batter here. We'll see it in the replay. And Branson Matsumoto getting out of the way very quickly.
Curveball that he just didn't release right.
I think we've all had one of those.
I don't think I have the arm to get it over the plate, so I can say that I've never had one of those. So Branson Masamoto. Good pitch. 3-1
all
now
the
the
way
count.
was Masamoto.
Yep.
Yeah, to think that batter would even try and take a step forward on that one. Yeah, no.
No, there's a bit of theatre, isn't there? Sometimes the way these batters too, they'll arch their body is looking like, hey, that was inside. You know, that almost hit me. This time, ground ball to shortstop. And a comfortable 6-3 plate. And I did wait before I said comfortable because we have seen a number of fielding errors, sometimes due to the terrain here at shortstop. So what must look sort of fairly automatic, and you certainly said it. You certainly said at major league level, clearly at under 19 level, not always the case.
It did surprise me that Wildboard did sit back on that a wee bit, seeing as he got the bad hop in the previous innings, but he had his body set, his feet were set well, his body was set well. But as we get deeper into the game, I think Howick Pakuranga will be looking in this innings to try and get runs on the board. Now,
A little bit of Sweet Caroline, Mark. Proved popular at North Harbour Stadium last summer. Proved popular all around the world. It's a baseball anthem just about these days, isn't it?
I hope you weren't waiting for a tune here, Dale. It wasn't going to happen, but yes, no, very popular song. And the Tuatara crowd, many a time at North Harbour Stadium, getting into this in a big way.
Certainly pretty special as we got later into that summer and the crowds got bigger and bigger and everyone joined in that chorus a little louder with more people on deck.
That's what I found the most impressive thing, that, you know, the one thing we do here in New Zealand well, when we take something on and we support it hard.
Yeah, it was pretty special to be part of. The fortune as a player to win a few national championships here with the HP side over the years and sharing that experience with the likes of Andrew Mark and Daniel Tan and whatnot. And, you know, you kind of think that you're top of the world and that's the be-all and end-all of sport and a couple of hundred people watching. And then to think all these years later that we're all involved in some capacity with the Tuatara and, you know, 5,000 or so people in the stands watching and sharing and riding those emotions with you is pretty special to be part of.
And I think for those of us who've been in the game a long time, if we had have even said 5 years ago the chances of playing professional baseball here in New Zealand were an option, we probably would have
pipe dream, absolute pipe dream, mate.
Thought we were all drunk at the time.
Well, what a moment for Tuiamosa. They are starting to run out of time. Does this young talent have the ability to change the momentum, to give Howick Pakuranga an opportunity to square things up? Taichi Nakao, second pitcher used for North Shore on the mound. He goes wide. An interesting too, isn't it, Tuiamosa? He does stand a long way away from the plate. Got long arms, good extension. They go down, has a big swing at it. And out at first.
Very good pitch there, drawing the swing from the batter.
That's a big out. Yamamoto first up. Don't allow that lead-off base runner.
One of these guys.
3-run lead. You're going to need crooked numbers at some point to get back into this and get that lead-off runner. It just makes such a difference.
You know, you think now if Howard Pakuranga don't make something happen, will we see Tui Amosa at the plate again? It's now they need to start batting a bit deeper, getting some runners on base.
Trey Wildbore has a look at that pitch, and he's happy with that 2-0 count because he finds himself ahead on the count. 2 balls, no strikes. So can he be the hero? It's almost that he just seems they're in two minds in terms of how to play this. Do they play percentage or do they go after it? In that moment of hesitation, they're not really achieving anything.
Comes across very calm, and no trades, a calm young man, but what's going on internally right now?
Straight down Broadway that time, so 3-1 the count. And walk, so there we go, runner on base, but they do have the 1 out. Good news is, though, they're only in the middle of their order. We've got Harrison Wildbore about to come up. He is on deck.
Catcher Harrison, Trey's cousin.
Neither of these two boys are the fastest around the base paths, so small ball not quite so much of a factor as it might have been with other players. So.
Oh, look, in fairness, young Harrison, when he gets his legs going, he certainly has some pace.
Sure.
But right now, you're probably right, small ball's not the option. They need to be getting aggressive with these bats.
Infield is playing quite shallow, so.
Taichi Nakao doing a very good job. Second pitch used from North Shore. Wildbore though, ground out is it? Shortstop, good play here. Do they get the double? No, safe on first and second, so pressure. Now starting to build a little bit on North Shore. They forced the error. We talked about sometimes just putting bat to ball. Johnny Salvi pretty happy with that from what he's seen here. Just have a wee look, did everything right until the throw.
Boy, a hard slide from Trey Wildbore into second. Ball comes free.
Look, he did his job.
He did his job, absolutely.
He did his job. You know, a safe slide, good hard slide.
Joseph Yamamoto now at the plate.
So Yamamoto.
Also a young man today that's had a day, 14 years old.
Yeah. Opening pitcher. Boy, what a talent he is. You do like the look of him, don't you? You think the future is big for this guy. That's why the importance of the Tuatara stepping stone to higher honours, and you know he's technically very good. You just let him grow up, let him fill out, and you've got a world-class pitcher. You know, are we looking at potentially, you know, the first sort of New Zealand player to come through the system here to make the major leagues? We just don't know, but this is what this tournament does provide. Could it be Tui Amosa? You know, any of these guys could be that one player.
Wouldn't it be a story if he was the guy to drive one into a gap here and close this gap? Played a couple of runs or more.
So Yamamoto, look at him, just like a coiled spring, just waiting to explode. Has a look at that pitch, gets bat on ball, foul ball low, find himself behind on the count, 0-2, no balls, 2 strikes. We've got Mark Irwin alongside of me, Dale Budge, bringing you all the analysis of what has been an intriguing New Zealand under-19 final, and still a long way to go.
And you know, Dale Budge, here in New Zealand, we like, unlike the rest of the world, where if you're a pitcher, you're a pitcher. Here we're a utility. These guys can do everything. They hit, they pitch, they catch. Next week you're in the outfield.
A two-way player is sort of what we do here in New Zealand.
But I think that's a good thing, isn't it? It gives you perspective in different positions as well when you've got to play different positions. Always think in rugby, if you want to be a good first 5, well, spend some time at second 5-8. Spend some time even at halfback, so you get to see the game through their eyes, how they see you, and then I think you're gaining an understanding of your role.
For a long time here, and even at Pakuranga, some of the best pitchers in the club at senior level were the best catchers in the club.
Well, I mean, you know, go and look at Andrew Mark. He started out as a pitcher, didn't he? And then, you know, it gives him some insight into his hitting as well.
And he's a sensational catcher.
Yeah.
Plays a bit of shortstop, I think.
Yeah,
Club
first base.
Yeah. First base, yeah.
Pinky and Duncan Isaacs up the middle for Bayside there at the time.
With Dale Budge, just a DH, eh? From a young age, never really changed. DH, pinch hitter.
Someone never had it in the first place, Mark.
What are you saying? You can't put back in what God left out, Dale?
Absolutely.
Okay, bottom of the 7th runners on. First and second, 2 outs though.
First sign of a real aggressive swing there.
Yeah.
From HP. It's good to see.
First
Hunter
pitch swinging.
Salvi, yeah, really having a crack at that.
2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. A couple of runners on. They have to make it.
Well, Hunter Salvi,
Make it happen themselves.
Can he go long? Can he change the context of this game? Create a moment for himself and his family. As we look at that pitch, strike given. He's that happy with that call. 0-2 the count.
Again, but you look 7 innings in, these batters sort of shaking their heads. There's been such a consistent zone throughout the game here. There is no right now to sit back and say after your 4th turn at bat that you're not sure of that zone.
Yeah, I know we've said it a bunch of times. He's had a great game behind the plate, I think, Travis Watson. In fact, all the umpires have had a really good game.
This time into the dirt inside. Ball called, 1-2 the count. Runners remain on first and second in scoring position.
And on that as well, the umpires work hard throughout the tournament to be selected by Chief Umpire Warren Van Rooyen to be given a spot on one of the final games.
But also too, there is that pathway now through to the ABL if we can get that season back on track in time, and you don't know where that ends up taking you beyond that. And we want to encourage our officials, but like players, there should be pathways through to the top for them as well. This time, gets some swinging, and Salvi struck out, and that is the end of the bottom of the 7th. So he heads to the top of the 8th, and it's still North Shore leading 4-1 over Howick Pakuranga.
Yeah, Howick Pakuranga leaving their run a wee bit too late. Or are we going to see a bottom of the 9th thriller? It could go either way right now.
It'll be Maso Shinjo, who's come in here in relief. Look very sharp. He's going to continue. Seen him throughout the bottom of the 7th here, just behind us, keeping loose in the bullpen. Warren Van Rooyen wandering his way over here, the umpire's boss. Wonder if we have a quick word to him. Must be pretty happy with what he's seen from his umpires.
Standing next to us, a legend of the game, Mr. Ed Mason. One of the forefathers of sport in our country here.
Got his Toronto Maple Leafs hat on.
We do have umpiring boss here, Warren Van Rooyen, joining us. Warren, you're obviously assessing your umpires. We've all been complimenting, I think, throughout the game. Travis Wilson behind home plate's done a magnificent job. We think the whole umpiring crew, you must be pretty pleased so far.
Yeah, pretty happy, Dale. Look, the guys, I've laid it out to them at the front of the tournament. It's something they want to work on. There's a good opportunity for them to grow at these junior tournaments, and then take that next level to get up to the senior games, and then maybe, who knows, ABL later on, or even those WBSC events. So, very happy with where the guys are at.
And how much analysis do you and your team sort of do post-tournament like this to sort of go through and talk about some of the, more subjective rulings or controversial rulings or whatever you want to call it?
We actually do it after every game during the tournament. So we have a debrief, we do the evaluations with them, and then also, we discuss some of the plays. Example, now we've taken a couple of shots from today's game, and those will be teachings and learnings, for the guys that we have. And, we put it out there and just, show them what they need to do and where they can get better at.
All right, mate. Well, we'll let you go and enjoy the last couple of innings. But well done on the whole tournament, and especially this final day. Outstanding.
Thanks, Dale. Much appreciated.
Young Kaiden Maya steps into bat for North Shore, lead-off hitter.
Yeah, top of the 8th. So, key moment here now. Let's see what Masa Shinjo can do. He'll just want to get through this as quick as he can. Just hope that he can avoid putting runners on base. Needs to probably go after them too. Kaiden Maya, big moment for him. Has a look at that first pitch and foul ball. So 0-1 now the count. So Masa Shinjo through 50 pitches, and so he'll be still comfortable at this point. Still feeling like he's got the arm. Strike given. So 0-2. So Maya behind on the count. Asking Harrison Wildbore, his catcher, what he thinks he should throw. Both agree, and this time strikes him out.
Geez, that's just what the doctor ordered for the home side, isn't it?
Great economy from Masa Shinjo. 3 pitches, 3 strikes.
Young Kaiden Meyer again.
1 up, 1 down.
Hard to tell whether he's unhappy with himself or with the call, but no, it's been that consistent zone.
Jason Greenslade now.
Quick 1, 2, 3 inning here.
They get back to the top of the order after this, so they'll want to try and get through Jason Greenslade as quickly as they can, and that's another very good pitch and strike given. So Masa Shinjo's done a great job since coming in.
It's just those little subtle momentum changes too. If you can get through, breeze through, the top of the inning here, and no one gets on base. All of a sudden, hitters are back.
This time launches this one high, but it is a high fly ball and should be taken comfortably in centre field, and it is. And so a very good catch taken by Tuiamosa, and 2 outs.
And Moses just looks so comfortable all game out there at centre field for Howick. And as a pitcher on the hill, knowing you've got that sort of ability behind you out there in the field, it just speaks leaps and bounds with your confidence.
Sota Watanabe, top of the order, playing second base. Next batter on deck, just outside. Watson says no, clip the outside corner. Happy with that, like the height. Great pitch, strike, thank you. 0-1 the count. Nice little change up, but ball cool.
It didn't miss by a whole lot either.
Shinjo, no, waves that call away from his catcher, Harrison Wildball. Happy to go wide.
Still this late in the game, we're seeing that patience at the plate, but we would have thought we would have seen the other side of it from the Howick Pakuranga.
So Watanabe, happy just to have a look at that last pitch. It's a good pitch straight down the middle, and that'll bring the count to 2-2. Plenty of noise coming from both dugouts. And gets him. Foul ball, and boy, that travelled with some velocity, didn't it? Got a little bit of a fright here in the commentary box. Dale Budge leapt across in front of us. If you're going to take a classic catch, only to realise there was a fence and wall in front of us.
I think
just
I
natural
fell for
reflex.
Travis Watson, that was cannoned off Travis Watson. He doesn't seem to have bothered him, so must have got the protection.
Tell you what, Mark Irwin, with that reflex there from Dale Budge, shortstop every day of the week for Counties Manukau.
It's looking that way, I think, Mark. It could be on the cards.
This time strikes him out. 3 up, 3 down. Great pitching from Masa Shinjo.
Yeah, what a performance from Masa Shinjo in relief. Man, he has been absolutely outstanding. Came in a difficult situation. If that's the last we see of him, that is one heck of a performance.
100%. Now you want to see the team come around behind him from the offensive side and start putting runs on the board.
Well, it now comes down to the hitters, doesn't it? You can sit here and blame the pitchers, but look, through this you've scored 1 run through 7 innings. Okay. This is a game that is also about the hitters. It's about the batters. Time for you to step up. I think the pitchers have been pretty good, considering that we're into day 4 of this tournament and that we know just how much energy and just how much fatigue and how much torque goes through the arm and the hips of a pitcher.
I mean, Masa now has the right to sit in that dugout and say, come on, guys, let's get together. Let's get these bats going. Let's get some runs on the board. Let's go. Let's have our turn.
So I think... Jake Wildbore, I think, up on deck.
Taichi Nakao stays on the mound. He's done a nice job in relief as well.
Oh, look, both clubs should be absolutely stoked with their pitching today. But then again, we've got 1 innings to go after this. Where do we sit? How do the arms hang?
North Shore 6 outs away from winning their 3rd consecutive title.
So I'm sort of glad I'm not on the back end of it this year.
Out Pakuranga, 3 runs away from tying things up, and Are we about to see some drama? Are we about to see the momentum swing from a batting point of view go in favour of Howard Pakuranga?
Almost
North Shore will be happy for the fact that we're batting 7, 8 and 9 in the order here.
They would, but I think that's been almost the most productive part of the HP lineup today.
Yeah.
The bottom of the order's certainly done its job.
And as we talked about earlier, I suppose, at this level, there is no sort of 1 to 9. It's not like you're not down at that under 13, that sort of T-ball level again, where you're just putting your worst batter at number 9.
Just got a little conversation going on here between HP coach Wildboar and home plate umpire Travis Wilson. I'm not sure.
So I was just wondering what they were having for dinner tonight, I think.
Who's firing up the barbecue?
I'm hoping it's roast chicken. I'm led to believe it's roast chicken when I get home.
Outside. Immediately 1 ball, no strikes. So good start for Pakuranga. I mean, you might say, hey, look, it's only 1 pitch. What do you mean by good start? But they'll take anything at this point. It's going to come down to just small percentages this time outside again. So 2-0 now the count. So good start here for Wildboard if he can just get himself on base.
Yeah, what HP wouldn't give for a base runner here, a lead-off base runner.
Just that they ride it now. You get a feeling this is going to come straight down Broadway, and it does. Get some swinging. Strike called, 2 balls, 1 strike. This time gets on that foul ball though.
Yeah, just again very late, just pushing it down that line.
It soaks up another pitch.
And going into this 9th innings, how critical is the pitch counts? I mean, what depth is now left with both teams?
Yeah, that is the unknown. It's the sort of wild card factor here. We're not talking just a manager utilising his bullpen how he sees fit. There are pitch counts to consider. Wildball fouls this one back.
Just consistently battle after battle after battle all day. And for the purists, that's a good thing.
Oh, certainly can't complain about the quality we've seen on here in the championship game.
2-2 the count. As we look at that high swing, strikes him out. So, North Shore though, maintaining that momentum, 5 outs away from their 3rd consecutive championship.
I think last year in Christchurch, the final went to 11 innings.
Gabe.
Geez, don't tell me that. I'll be late for the roast dinner.
Gabe Lasoa. There's always KFC on the way home, Dale Budge. Gabe Lasoa.
Even DHs have to run the base paths, right?
Inside, fastball.
Yeah, I was getting something wrong.
So can Lasoa be the hero for Howard Pakuranga, the home team? And Breeze still reasonably consistent. Ball called, so 2-0.
Shinjo on deck, which I guess Mark indicates to me that they intend on throwing him back out there at the top of the 9th.
Well, why would you take him off? I mean, he's been brilliant,
He's been
hasn't
lights out. He's been brilliant.
He has been lights out. This time, high foul ball into foul territory. Will the catch be taken? Catch should be taken, and so that is 2 up, 2 down.
As Dale Budge talked about before the wind, that clearly went foul initially and then come back into fair and opened up a live ball.
Breeze just sort of swung around again from right field, so was pushing the ball back towards home plate.
So North Shore 4 outs away from their 3rd consecutive championship. Masa Shinjo, does he become the hero? Does he become the story?
And wouldn't it be a story since he's come in?
Oh, he's been superb.
Good first up pitch though that he receives there from Nakal.
I think just the respect shown today between the pitchers and the batters is there too. They just understand each other's ability.
This time, ground ball up that left field line and foul ball called. So he'll have to come back and have another swing. And he'll find himself behind on the count, 0-2.
With Kaiden Maya coming down the line, fielding that ball in foul territory.
Yep, we have seen some good quality baseball today. All the basics been done pretty well. Shinjo would love that ball just to hop fair.
One and two the count.
Yeah, it's been a week of good hard baseball. 8 teams started. Now we're down to the final 2.
Do you think what we've seen this week is much of an indication of what we're going to see at the men's nationals, the balance of power?
Oh, good hit
To
this
be
time,
fair,
but
Dale,
straight to
Bud-
third base. And that
Right
will
out.
wrap up the inning.
To be fair, back to your question, Dale, I think no. I think for maybe 3 or 4 of the top players in each team, but it's actually been quite a young nationals too. We see the 14-year-olds, the 13, 15s that are new with the younger squads that haven't had the experience.
Let's have another look here. Nice play. So nice little 5-3 play, and what we mean by that is each player in a baseball team's given a number. The pitcher is given number 1, catcher 2, third base is 3, second base 4, third base 5. And you go around your outfield. Shortstop is 6, and then your outfield 7, 8 and 9. So when you hear that play, a nice little 6-3 play, shortstop to first base. All the little intricacies that go with the sport of baseball.
But I think all teams, Dale, will have 1 or 2 really significant players from the roster here at this tournament. North Shore probably a lot more, same with Howick. With counties we have probably 3 or 4 that we will be relying on, but also a lot of young people.
It's going to be a very interesting men's nationals this year without import players being able to become a factor. We usually see a number of professional players from the United States out here playing and coaching with teams. Obviously COVID has put a halt to that, but we might see some New Zealand players that would otherwise be overseas perhaps being back and available for some club baseball too.
And it's been a very different club year because of the lack of imports coming into the country, with a lot of clubs stepping up with their younger players that we see on display here today and giving them the opportunity. Sometimes they might get half an innings or an at-bat during a premier game for their club. But, we've had some clubs over the years that have brought in 3 or 4 imports. And so that stops our progression. But this year, it's made a huge difference.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to seeing the progress that clubs have made. I know, talking to Chris Richards before, Wellington team coming up. Some higher expectations perhaps in previous seasons. So looking forward to seeing that.
So we are into the final inning for each team at the moment. If the score remains this way, it'll be the last at bat for North Shore. Masa Shinjo on the mound for Pakuranga. And good bunt. And get himself to first base too, so great first up play from North Shore.
They're coming across very aggressive early, like they just want to put a couple of extra runs on the board.
So there's a little bit more of that class from Taichi Nakao we've talked about.
And now Bonji Nakao come into bat. They try and pick his brother off at first, but he's onto it. So Masa Shinjo, I don't think he'd be too panicked by it. Just got to go at the batter though, go at him. The runner goes. No, decides to go back to first.
Gee, I think this is clever from North Shore. Small ball, given the scenario. 4-1 lead. Looking for insurance runs. Got a lead-off runner on. See if you can move them around. Just making that 4-run difference.
Certainly in the position to play that game, aren't they?
3 runs, 4 runs makes a difference, doesn't it?
Again, just saying to Taichi Nakao, got your number. So Masa Shinjo. Another little bunt, this time into foul ball territory, so the count will go to 0-2.
That maybe surprised me a little. I understand it, but I would have thought I would have seen a wee bit more aggression with the bat there. Their last at bat.
Shows that North Shore's side are not content. 3 runs is not necessarily going to be enough. I know we haven't seen a whole lot of offence today, but as you said, who knows what's left of the tank in terms of pitching.
So Bonji Nikau has a wee look at that pitch and picks up his first ball, and therefore 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And clearly, I think Massa has earned his right to go deep into this game since coming in to replace Joseph.
Yeah, it's outside too, though. Oh, strikes him out. Wow. Must have just clipped that outside corner. Certainly from where I was sitting, it looked like a ball every day of the week, but sometimes that camera angle can just be deceptive.
So at that stage, look at where the batter's actually set up on the plate, where his feet are in conjunction with the plate itself.
So now the starting pitcher for North Shore, Rioma Fuse, still batting 4-hole.
Very much a danger with the bat.
Yeah, looks at that first pitch and says, no, happy to accept the ball. Not going to swing at that, so 1-0 the count. Into the dirt. Runner remains on first, though.
Can Howick Pakuranga shut out North Shore now and send us into a blistering bottom half of the 9th?
So I'll put the order due up for HP. Stage is set for them.
Let's try and get some swinging. So 2-1 now the count. So Master Shinjo showing plenty of composure, not panicking.
Great pitch there by Shinzo. Really drew the batter into that swing.
Yahoo Wall on deck for North Shore. And then Min Shan Kim in the hole, he would be next.
3 balls, 1 strike. Another big moment in this game.
It is count.
Breeze has really picked up. Swung back around more from centre field again.
Fuse. Oh, takes one on the helmet and automatically take a wee walk to first. So now runners on first and second in scoring position. Just the 1 out. So Masa Shinjo, that pitch just getting away from him.
See that he's all okay, no problems there, even though it just brushed the helmet. Dangerous looking pitch.
Certainly no intention to tag the player there. I think he just lost control of that out of the back of his hand.
So Tiahu Wall batting 5-hole for North Shore.
He's had a day. Still the crucial moment of this game, I think, that play in right field that he made. Shut down what would have been an HP rally, prevented runs being scored. Came up with a big throw too.
And I believe, I'd have to check, but I think he might have been a pickup player from the draft for North Shore for this tournament.
Wow.
Well, Masa Shinjo just needs to settle down here a little bit.
Not 100% on that, but
2-0 the count. Tiahu Wall. Locked and loaded. And he gets plenty on that. It's high, but the catch should be taken in centre field, and the catch is taken. Tuiamosa does it comfortably, so 2 outs. Runners remain on first and second. They're not going to go on his arm, are they? He's got a brilliant arm, Tuiamosa.
He's been solid out there all day. Absolutely solid all day.
Yeah, class act.
Now Min Shan Kim, really a big danger man.
Min Chan Kim's had a very good game behind the plate for North Shore today.
A go at him. Foul ball. Won the count.
Yeah, I've just checked on Tiahu Wall. He is a pickup player from Christchurch for the North Shore Club for this tournament.
Good on him. Great experience.
And great to see that sort of skill set starting to come through out of the South Island.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Well, you're always going to get individual players down there that are good enough, aren't they? The hard thing is just getting that depth right across the board, putting the environment around them, putting the rest of the team around them. So it's great that you actually have that draft system, so you are catering for those individuals. As we see that, just given strikes, so 0-2. What does Masa Shinjo throw here? Foul ball away. Count will remain 0-2.
Being behind 0-2, Min Chan having to have that crack at anything close or thereabouts.
I just hurt himself a little bit on that swing. Just taking a moment. Just readjust it. Swung hard.
Hope you are enjoying coverage of this. It's New Zealand Baseball Under-19 National Final here on Sky Sport Next, and get some swinging. Boy, lured him in, didn't he? A pitch he didn't need to swing at, but that is it. That brings that inning to a close. So it is Howard Pakuranga who will have one more throw of the dice. For North Shore, they are 3 outs away from securing the three-peat, 3 consecutive national titles. Good thing, though, for Howard Pakuranga is they're back at the top of the order.
Well, what an exciting finish we've got coming up. 3 runs the difference. Top of the order for HP. Look at them. They're rallying. Johnny Salvi has them in a little huddle.
Well,
who wants to be the hero today?
Eli Lasoa, Tui Amosa and Trey Wildboar.
How much gas left in this tank?
Yeah, it's going to be Taichi Nakao to continue.
You know, this speaks volumes. Normally, coached in these finals, you'll go through 2 or 3 pitches easy, and then maybe 4 or 5. So to get through both these teams with the 2 pitches alone each today.
Yeah, she's been a pitcher's jewel, that is for sure. It's been a terrific display from all 4 of the pitchers we've seen in action. First of our National Championship Series, United Airlines National Championship Series. The under-16s will be here at Lord Ellesmere Park, Follett Field in March. And then in April, the United Airlines Senior Men's National Championships also here at Lord Ellesmere Park. And then the under-13s down in Nelson, that wonderful facility that they've got down there. Great program that Marty Grant and the crew are putting together in Nelson. See the under-13 National Championships. Supposed to be there last year, Mark Irwin, of course, but unfortunately COVID caught a hit right as those Nationals were about to take place.
It did, Dale. We took this tournament to Christchurch last year, and we actually arrived home 3 days before they decided to go and look at lockdown. So it sort of put it off, and I know Marty Grant and the team in Nelson have done a huge amount of work to put this away, so it's only fair that Baseball New Zealand re-offer that tournament.
Oh, and we're seeing, you know, they've done a fantastic job down there, thoroughly well organised by the whole Nelson Heat organisation. Had a visit to Hamilton during the holiday period, saw that wonderful facility that they've built down there. It's going to be a real asset. I'm sure we're going to see national championships in due course down that part of the country as well.
Okay, so let's paint the picture for you. For North Shore, the 2-time defending champions, they are 3 outs away from the three-peat. But up on deck for Howard Pakuranga, they are at the top of the order. Eli Lasoa, followed by Tui Amosa and then Trey Wildboar on the mound. Taichi Nakao, just the second pitch he used from North Shore.
The crowd's been quiet the last couple of innings, and now they've come alive.
First pitch is a strike.
Base runners needed.
1-1 is the count.
Any way you can. You can wear one here, that would be a big win for HP.
Pressure on both teams. Can Howard Pakuranga rally? This time straight down Broadway. Strike is called. Travis Watson umpire has been fantastic all day.
I fancy Taichi on the mound here, probably the most experienced North Shore player, played in big games, has that sort of temperament to deal with the situation.
Gets him swinging. And they'll tag him, and 1 up, 1 down, 2 outs away from their 3rd consecutive national title. So not the start Howard Pakuranga were hoping for, but Tui Amosa, this potential superstar of the future, next up. And then on deck after him, Trey Wildboar. Tui Amosa.
You can hear catcher Binshan Chim saying no doubles. We're going to concede something here, make sure it's not. Outfield playing deep.
Protect your lines, I heard the call.
3-1 lead, you can afford to protect a
So
lead.
count, foul ball, 0-1 the count.
Very much the mind of Coach Dan Tang coming into play now for the defensive North Shore side.
Nakao gets the call from Min Chan Kim. Wild pitch, 1-1 now the count. Quality player Tui Amosa has been fantastic in centre field, bulletproof arm on him. Again, out ball strike given. So, skipping that outside corner.
Nakao just playing on the top side of that zone that Watson's been calling all day.
And a slightly delayed call, wasn't it? You could just sort of see that there was just that slight hesitation. So
I think you find that with the more experienced umpires, including the ABL, they tend to just hold their decisions back. They just tend to delay that decision a wee bit.
Well, you just want the right decision. If it's a split second, let's go with it.
Yeah.
So 1-2 the count. So North Shore in the box seat, leading 4 runs to 1. The damage done very much in that second inning. But after that, boy, it's been just wonderful pitching from both teams this time. 2-2 the count.
Trying to get Amosa to go upstairs, chase one upstairs. And the youngster relents. Good plate discipline.
This time, bat to ball, but straight to shortstop. Great throw to first base, great baseball, quality play indeed. Well, North Shore, if they win this, well, it's that type of play that's been the difference. But very good at bat from Tui Amosa. But great arm from their shortstop.
So are we about now to witness the last batter for this final?
Again, defensive play from North Shore. They have done everything right defensively, haven't they?
Well, they're 1 out away, aren't they? And this time it is the high fly ball. Is that it? And the catch is taken. And there you go. North Shore will wrap it up. They'll win their 3rd consecutive New Zealand Under-19 title. They've beaten Howard Pakuranga 4 runs to 1 in what has been a remarkable pitching duel. But congratulations to the coaching staff. Congratulations to North Shore. That dynasty well and truly alive. Howard Pakuranga, well, they had their moments, they had their opportunities, but it comes down to key moments. And those key moments, that momentum very much fell on the lap of North Shore. Well done to them. National champions for 2021.
Well earned. What a fantastic game of baseball. 9 innings. You know, we had a couple of moments there, a couple of innings where the bats went crazy, but since then it's been a duel between pitchers and batters, and having the pitchers shone today. I mean, it's just been amazing to watch, and feel really glad for North Shore City. They put it out there. They won the game. 3-peat, we haven't had that, I don't think, at an under-19s level since the inception of the United Airlines Championship.
And how appropriate Tehao Wall ends up taking that catch in right field. And you talked, Dale, earlier about the key moment in the game. That young man involved.
Oh, absolutely. I think that was the key moment. I mean, he made good ground, a tough catch diving forward to make it with the wind holding it up. And, if that drops in, all of a sudden we're talking about a 4-3 ball game and HP with a bit of a rally going. So, yeah, he made the stunning catch, then got up and threw the runner out going home as well. So, terrific day, terrific performance, I think, from North Shore. I think they thoroughly deserve to be crowned champions. They did all the defensive work perfectly. I don't think there was an error made that I witnessed throughout the game, and thoroughly deserve their 3-peat.
But let's just quickly talk about Howard Pakuranga. Let's talk about Joe Yamamoto, the young pitcher, 14 years of age. What a future.
Wow.
3 more years. You just sense it's only a matter of time before Howard Pakuranga bounce back.
Yeah, look, I mean, the guy is just absolutely amazing. He's got a future. You know, his future is extremely bright.
Well, on behalf of myself and Mark Irwin, it is congratulations to North Shore winning their third consecutive New Zealand Under-19 baseball tournament. It's been a privilege and a pleasure. We hope you did enjoy coverage here on Sky Sport Next. Don't forget to tune in early April because it will be the National Men's Finals, televised live on Sky Sport Next. But if you're not sure what sport to take up the sport of baseball.